And once again, here we go. Back to the upside in a big way, and it's broad-based, widespread, whatever you want to call it. It's buying, and a lot of it coming through this afternoon. 3.25% back to the upside here for the NASDAQ, leading the way. 2.5% for the S&P, 1.9 there, better part of 2% for the Dow. Pretty impressive buy programs, if you want to call them that. In action right now, right across the board here. 2.3 for Brazil. We were discussing that in the pre-market this morning. Yeah, we'll talk about oil here. What a tumble we had in crude oil. 11.5%, all the way back to 205, 206. We're seeing a bit of a bounce, though. Crypto's liking today as well. We got up to about 10% at one point for Bitcoin. A bit of a pullback now. I mean, it doesn't get much more positive than this right across this board. The only group, the energy sector, obviously. I mean, you got oil down 11%. Obviously, you're going to have some red in this group. 7+% here, right across the board, pretty much. Oxy, wow, standing out as the only one positive there. 2.5%, still in positive territory. Look at this board, though. Otherwise, pretty impressive. It's hard to find. Negative stocks here, some resource names to the downside, I guess. Travel over here. Wanted to mention, we're going to talk some travel, but benefiting the most by far from this recovery here. NCLH, 10.5%. Look at Caesars, up almost 12% on the day. My voice is dying here, a slow and painful death. Financials having a nice day. Tech having a nice day. You get the picture. It's right across the entire board. Very positive afternoon, as we said. So welcome. 2 hours to go in this crazy day. You heard Trader Brad mention tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a very important day, guys, because we're getting the CPI number ahead of the Fed, 15th and 16th. Remember the Fed meeting. We'll get the decision, obviously, the second day, but CPI tomorrow. So, I mean, everyone's talking higher than expected again. I was reading during lunchtime, so we'll see what happens. Might be a relief rally, might be extended tomorrow. Make sure you're here. 8:30, we'll get that tomorrow. Let's jump into a little bit of a review, as we do, as always, this time of day. Sean's going to lead the way here with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey traders, what's up, man? Get this man an iron here. Okay, so today it's going to be quite an easy trade, and it was Oxy. And actually, Brendan just mentioned Oxy, the only oil name that's up today. And what was I thinking? Only short, right? I just have here, and again, it's on the sticky note today to go short. We're going to explain why we reversed it to the long and had quite a big win on the long side on this name. I am down on Oxy today, so we're just going to talk about how it traded out and what we did. There's oil, like 130, there's the high. This is just an oil with the current contract there, the J22. You're seeing it down today. Look at that monster number, down 12.5%. So we were completely right. When we came in today, oil was actually up here, man, like 119, 120-ish on the AM trade, and then it's just been a downward move all morning, then into the afternoon, which we are right now. We're actually at 2 p.m. Right now. So what did we come in thinking? Well, I mean, it was pretty simple. You know, Oxy was right here. This is a $50 level down here, so we shorted it early, and we're just like, you know what? With oil starting to trend down, I mean, even though we didn't get this whole move, you could see where we're coming from, 126, 127, and at the open of the day, we're roughly at like 117, 118. You can see this is where we were battling, so we're like, you know what? It has to go down, right? No, Oxy just continues its move up today. So it opens up down here, and then we're short, we're out, we're short again, we're out, and we just kept shorting this thing. We didn't start really, I mean, look, there's some positive trades here. Shorting, a little bit out there, get ripped off there. Then we go long here, get out, more shorts, get out, short, short, short. Eventually, I mean, in here it's okay. That's why we hover this. 53 to 54 started to work for us, started to get out a little bit. But look what happens. Look at a lot of these spikes, a lot of the volume spikes here, the ones that are standing out are to the buy side, which was very, very strange because as oil was just tanking here, Oxy just kept going up and we didn't believe it. At some point, we're like, enough is enough. And if you see this range here, this is yesterday. This is why it's choppy. This yesterday range here at 54.50, once that was broken, that was it. We said enough was enough, and we did take some chops, like we took some hits here. There's no doubt about that. We're negative on the name, but we make back like 2/3 of what we were down on the next play. Sometimes you have to be stubborn because you really believe in it, but once it started, and that's what we were doing here, but then once it just kept going up and it was like, oh my God, this thing is just so strong. We don't really have any strong down moves. Look at this, big spike up there, right? Here, not the down move is like one time. So we have to change our game. So we use this area right here. As soon as it takes out this 54.50, we go long, and it's out, out, out. So we actually get out here of about 60 to 70% out at 55s. Remember, we're long at 54.50 on this breakdown here. Another bid there through. And then look where we're able to get out. We finally decide, you know what, we're going to hold this. We're going to see how far we can go. And then we do our normal strategy. The only thing is I probably should have reversed short. This is what it is. You let the stock barcode up here. So it's barcoding at that 58. Meanwhile, look what the stock is doing. Look what the underlying is doing. This is what the commodity is doing straight down. So we're like, huh? So this starts to pop up. We put our offer right there at the day's high. We're stubborn. Look, it already went up there. It came back down. This is right here. We're long 54.50. 58.50, that's $4. Look at all these cuts we're taking, 20 cents, 30 cents, et cetera, right? But then you hold a little bit, and I wish it was the whole thing, but we hold a little bit to take that $4. So that was really, really key. Then we tried it again. We tried another short here on the 50-period break. That didn't work. We got out at 57. Again, a small cut. And that, just what to show you, 56.50 out, 57, I think flat, maybe even a little bit before that. That's like a 40-cent hit again, right? And so, you know, take the long hit there, take the long win, the short hits, and then now you're barcoding again. This is actually setting up, in my opinion, to break through VWAP. That's what this blue is. You break through VWAP here, downside. As long as oil keeps this move, which is down to 107 now, down 13%, and Oxy has a 3% pin on it today. It's crazy to me, but hey, they like the name. Might have been better to short Chevron or XOM. We chose Occidental today, and I just learned a lot of lessons. It was, don't fight what's happening, just play the momentum. And today it was definitely strong here on Oxy, able to make it back, but that's what traders have to do. Do not be married to your positions.
The party would apparently be over for now anyways in crude oil. Just an epic move back down about midday today. We'll have a look at the chart, talk a little bit about that coming up, guys. But we had oil stocks on the watch list this morning. My point, that is the link to the watch list if you are in need of a free resource every single day. Has all you need to know in the pre-market every day on that list. So yeah, pretty epic move back to the downside there about midday on some OPEC headlines, on a few different headlines that were coming through in relation to oil, and the suggestion that output might still be increased even though we have this problem going on in the world, or they're going to look to increase output specifically. What I was going to mention as well is this move back down in oil comes, guys, as I was reading this morning that here in Toronto, we are going to get a 15-cent per liter hike in the price for gas before Friday. So I'm not sure that's still going to happen with this move in oil back to the downside, but unbelievable the past couple of days.
Oh, look, it'll happen. It doesn't matter. Like,
oh, here, there.
Yeah. There
Unplug.
Spot prices can come down, but you know how it works, man. Like, it doesn't. The relief back down at the pumps doesn't exactly follow the moves down in oil markets. I think everybody understands. If you drive, you know what I'm talking about. So
feeling that.
You said it. You said that there, Sean. Maybe it was a better idea to short CVX or XOM. I can't say that it is because I tried the same thing, and the short that I had at the open would have only turned green like 10 minutes ago. That's, again, with oil down that much. Now, look, Chevron is down 4%. Oxy's definitely the stronger name, but it had to go all the way up to 170 before reversing and following things. And it just goes to show, like, once there was a disconnect, took the lumps and sort of walked away, maybe could have come back to this thing at 170. But, you know, this move probably had to happen at some point. There would be a significant pullback in, especially when that last chip to fall was you know, the announcing of the ban of Russian exports. So that's what's happened. It wasn't a pretty trade in the morning, as there was a counter trend rally in some of these stronger names, and only now you're seeing it pull back. Obviously, I wish I could have done it better. I had no ideas of going for a long, but there was a chance to get that 170 on Chevron. That's about the only thing I kind of wish I had done over there. But yeah, strong move in the market is the NASDAQ. It just keeps touching. Like, we're 3.5%, 13.75 there on NQ minis. And we just keep brushing up above that high, looking to see if we can break out. Still hold on to AMD to see if we can get that pop. It's now 111 the high instead of 110, shooting for that 112.
112. Yeah.
Always.
Okay, so we're just short. I mean, we got some decent shorts on right now. What are we talking about? Oil? Okay, we'll talk about oil. XOM yesterday was a monster. I haven't even looked at it today. I know what Brendan was mentioning there about Oxy being Oxy being one of the weakest. Got to get off this ellipse there. Darn it. Look at that, man. Like if we just would have sort of switched up our game here, we would have been short this, and we wouldn't have probably even got out. It wouldn't have, really ripped that far against us. Like it's funny that Oxy moves like $6-7 there. We had that $4 winner. That's like the whole range on XOM here today. But you could see XOM down that 6%, Oxy only down that 3 as of a couple minutes ago. So yeah, do I think it's going to fade out lower? Yes, I do. But still a strong name here today. Watch out for that. The NASDAQ, we did call. I was like, I think we'll see 4% today. I think we got as high as 360. Maybe we get to 4 at some point here today as the NASDAQ rocking and rolling. But hey, this oil move down, I'm going to say is probably temporary. So if you do think that gas prices, there it is, Roblox, nice little 70-cent win here as we're short Roblox right now. You could, good. You guys can see it on the board. So here's Roblox to the downside right now, and here's Draftkings. We came on Prad's show and talked about Draftkings to the short side. We did get taken a little bit out there. That was wrong. So we went back into the short again, and like a robot, we're trying to get this out. Let's see if it fades back in. Remember, the CPI is tomorrow, and I think for oil, the CPI X energy is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, when you're looking at energy costs, we're not going to be able to win that for a CPI battle. That's going to be through the roof. So I'm not sure what to expect with the number. You said that there was some sort of a leak already.
There's chatter.
There's
and I think
always
it was
leaks.
Warnings that it could be a hot print. Forget about 7, could be like 8.5. I feel like every time that happens, and look, maybe I'm being tinfoil hattish, but every time that happens, it's sort of setting the market up for a bad number to make it not look as bad when it comes out as 7. And then if it ends up being 7, it's as expected. That's not so bad. As if 7% inflation's good. So maybe that's what happens. But every single time, it's like it's going to be way worse. It's going to be historically bad, and they set you up for it. It's been closer to that expected number, maybe like a basis point above or below. But I saw 8.7 somewhere, and I'm like, if it comes 8.7. I can't imagine you're going to hear anything from the Fed next week that's going to make us love it. 8.7 will be a lot. I don't know if that's true. I'm not saying it's not, but it feels. A little
if that's what's expected, Ben.
No, expected. I think we're really expecting in the mid 7s, but there's a leak that it could be as bad as 8.7. Who knows?
I was reading things at lunchtime that were similar to that and not good as far as what is to come. But good point, Neil. And it's not as if they might be trying to make us, get us prepared for inline. Inline might be better than expected, I guess. Anyway, something called Our Loop is going crazy right now, which is HOUR, a little teeny tiny e-commerce company. Apparently, there's a 1.5 million share float on this. So Our Loop just went from 240 to 380 in about 10 minutes or so. So heads up on that. Let's talk about some of these travel names here, because lower fuel costs obviously going to benefit the airlines, going to benefit the cruise lines, going to benefit anything related to each, including, I just saw Caesars up 12% today. So hotels, casinos, all making monster moves back up.
Buy the dip, they said. It'll be great, they said. So the plan of action for me today, and it's not so much that I wanted to buy a dip into the pre-market lows on CCL. It's that I wanted to buy the dip, and even said, well, it sets up for a 17 break, but I'm not gonna take that because breakouts haven't been that great today. And oddly enough, the best long I had was on a breakout in Coinbase, and then the one I didn't want to take the break for was just gorgeous on CCL. So sometimes this is going to end up happening to you. Like, how clean is it when it takes this level out? We get right back into this, I guess close enough to 18 before making a high and pulling back. And once you've missed out on the trade, you almost had to have a short idea up there in front of 18 because that was your next good opportunity there. There was a dip at about 17 when it looked like it was going to really capitulate. I hate when it's that strong back in off a level like that. Usually I'm thinking a bit of a fade. But yeah, as much as oil was strong, it's the airlines and cruise lines, weak, I should say. Airlines and cruise lines were just as strong off of the open. The difference being it was a much more clean trade, right? Like the short in oil, if you tried it in the equities, it was not clean. But any of the travel names, it was as clean as it got. Just had to be willing to take that breakout. And maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that, like a rotation back to get some of these capitulation bottoms, and maybe some of these breakout trades will be a little bit better. But that's one. I mean, if you look for that pre-market high break at a key level, that's what CCL essentially gave you. I just didn't trust it today, unfortunately.
Yeah, we had, we always do this, so we'll do it again here. We had AAL written down here. We like that 14 level. We talked about it. It was the only stock that I traded in this realm here today. And yeah, it was a great one. We pegged this level perfectly. These are our longs here. We got long early. We talked about taking these breaks early, and I don't know why I continue to do that. It seems really silly. But there it is, comes back in, fades in. The only thing is, man, like, why didn't I rinse and repeat this? It's 11:30. We're just off the show. I should have had a bid down there. I guess I did not. But I like this 14 level on American Airlines. I really feel like, and I've talked about this, like, AAL is going to be a little different, but I don't see, like, $13. This is, at some point, we're going to get back to normal. And I don't know when that point's going to be. If your time frame is pretty long term, look, with oil, it's a problem. I don't think we need to buy anything right now. But, back into here, 10, 11, 12, I just worry that, AAL might continue to fall, especially if there is some truth to, what that CPI number is, what happens, less money in people's pockets, things like that, travel to the downside. But, American down here, like 11 and 12 bucks, it just seems like a steal. And then today, we hit the long at 14 because that was just the best price we could get. So there it is right there at 14.10, against 14. And I think that that's the smart play. Load up against the level, take much more risk to reward. Like, that's a 14.10 long. These are 14.60 outs, right? And so you have about 5-1 on the risk to reward on the top side. And as you can see, we didn't even get that much out on the way up. We really got a lot out near these day highs. So let's respect that 14.70 if we get back there. But right now, the market is coming to the downside pretty heavily right now. So good trading on this. We're going to ignore AAL for now, but the market's done pretty good.
All right, let's talk some tech here, because we saw the NASDAQ there, 3+%, leading the way by far, has most of the day. Microsoft looking really good, Apple looking really good. We mentioned there was a couple of upgrades in this group, including Netflix with a initiation, I think it was, for Netflix. But I just brought up Microsoft here, up, 4+% for Softy today. Apple as well, having a great day, up 2.8 still, trying to hold on to some key levels around 162 for Apple. So the strength, it would appear anyways for now, has returned to some of these tech names.
You're killing me. Just wait a second. I can just talk about Microsoft. You're killing me, because we had 281 written on here on our sticky note today, and that's exactly what we were buying over and over and over and over again. I said possible to 284. It's 287. Look at these bids down here. 281, 281.50. These are all bids. Good outs. This, we were debating back and forth with Liz what was going to be the trade of the day. But our best out, unfortunately, is, and let's zoom this back out and look at the market just take off. You guys know we were also long the market. But took off. Our best out is when it broke back down below. That's 285.50 off of a 281.50, so it's $4. We took another $4 winner there, so $4 winner on Oxy, $4 winner on Softy. But you could see this name just continues to make a move to the high side. I really feel like these are the best companies to get your money into right now. Don't deal with like the Palantirs or some of these like gamble stocks. We've already seen where Microsoft can go. We know that they like it. Look at these bottoms here, 270. I mean, I don't think we're at those levels yet. If tomorrow's print is really bad, maybe we get there. But there's the 4% on Softy today, and just a big move. I think you got to buy any dips, just like Apple, just like everything. These are big companies. Google fits in there as well. They're not doing anything wrong, and when they're hit because of this war, I feel like that's a mistake. So there it is, Microsoft all the way to the upside. Pretty happy with this trade.
And like all of them are going to be up, but the NASDAQ's over 3%. I'm just going to quickly show these side by side here. 3.25 on the NASDAQ. Facebook, it's slightly lagging a bit, not by much. Apple as well, but the excuse Apple gets is it's been holding that 200 period. It's been the safe haven. So as a safe haven, on these up days, I don't expect it to be as strong because it hasn't been beaten up as much. But relative weakness in Facebook. And now, basically looking at this 195.50, which is just over and over again this afternoon trying to hold the line. With the market at the highs, you've already pulled back off 199, and there's a potential breakdown in Facebook. It just continues to be relatively weak. So this level goes. I'm going to try my hand shorting, and I've been holding a lucid short all day off of those highs, which has been working out. But Facebook, The second we're talking big tech, I mean, I was already looking at this level. And with the market, if we pull back, like you don't tell me this break isn't going to give you down to 194, 194.5. It just seems like Facebook, as usual, is a bit of a lagger out of the big tech names, although it's not the market cap it used to be. Miss V?
Hey guys, we've got 2 super chats from Isa Mohammed. One of them saying Valeria is the queen of the show. Thank you so much, Isa. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you're having a wonderful, profitable day. Thank you so much for your support. And guys, please don't forget to like this video. And now let's go to one of the kings, Brandon.
Thank you. Let's continue along, guys. Yeah, hit the like, subscribe as well, guys. We're getting very close. I mean, not very close, but close enough to 300,000 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't already. Let's put on our prediction hats here for a second and talk about what is to come, because we mentioned CPI, we mentioned the Fed coming up next week. Who knows, obviously, what's going to happen over in Ukraine and Russia. But I saw some people during lunchtime kind of speculating as to, is this it? Obviously, only time will answer this question, but there are a few signs today. I mean, the sheer volume and relative volume on the buy side, one of them, as to, you know, maybe pointing back in the right direction here for the overall model, guys. So a lot of people wondering, is this a relief rally or not?
Well, once you go into bear territory, I don't know what else. Like by definition, I guess, yeah, because that's what it is when you pull back 20% on the Nasdaq and you're 12% down on the ES. Was it 12 or 13 from all-time highs in the Dow, like 11, whatever it is. It's just when you have that kind of a pullback. You know, to me, until you break back key levels, I don't know if you can call it anything but a relief rally. This is what the SPY looks like. I could have pulled up the Qs, but I just happened on the SPY first. So, look, maybe if we're back above a 440, like clearing back over the 200 period, something along those lines. I mean, you had a death cross in the Nasdaq. You need to break consolidation points to say you're anything more than a relief rally. We've already had one of these. And made a bounce back and just retested those lows and bounced off them when it comes to the SPY. So, you know, I want to see some actual follow through. Let's get back up, break out at that point, maybe like a 440 in the SPY, look at corresponding levels on the Nasdaq, get above the 200, and then you can call it something other than a relief rally. Everybody knows the fact that the best and most impressive up days come in, and I'm talking individual days. They come in bear markets. So that's what we're in right now. It's just because things have gone down so far or come down so far from big high prices that there's a lot more room for them to run. And those percent gains are impressive on a daily basis because of where they've come from. As I say all of that, I got to quickly jump over to, I was just mentioning Facebook. And of course, you know, it waits till I'm talking to actually get into this bad boy. So we get in, it's a breakdown trade. I might scalp a little bit of this out because what ended up happening there in the futures is Facebook broke down. And then you didn't really have much of anything going on there in the futures. Like, it's a bit of a pullback, but we're not breaking the range. So I might try to quickly scalp some of this if I can in front of 95 and try to ride the rest. I was looking for the market to break down at that same moment. I like the level flush break. Nothing wrong with that. But you just saw not much happen in the futures. But is it a relief rally? By definition, it's not at the point that I think you can call it anything else yet.
No, I mean, I think the big stats are still coming, right? We have tomorrow with the CPI, then we have next week, 14th and 15th for Fed speak, and I mean, that's what's going to happen. But I don't know. I think that you had oil down. I think there was a lot of, you know, there was that ceasefire talk with Russia, and so I feel like this is a little bit of a relief rally today, but it's just taking out, you know, some of these key levels. You know, we talked about the NASDAQ moving around. We talked about oil. We talked about Apple event was yesterday. So I feel like that's just, you know, settling down as well. But I'm not putting more work, you know, new money to work today at all. Like a big stock like Google's up 5%. Like that's a big move for them, obviously. But we've seen downward moves of that size as well. So I think it's a nice day. It's nice to get something out here. Let's just hope this day doesn't turn around. If we could stay north of like 2% here going into the close, I know we're up 3.5 right now, but if we can hold at least 2% plus, I think that's a positive sign. And then tomorrow, tomorrow all bets are off because that number is going to come out. I believe it's 8:30, and we just see what happens at that point. But for me, the fact that we got a relief in oil today, I think is obviously helping some of these tech tech stocks. And that's exactly what we said at 8:30. It was like, I believe it's going to be a tech rally and an oil flush. And literally that's exactly what has happened. So I think it's been a good day. I'm surprised at some of the stocks. I thought there'd be more movement in some of these names, but so far so good here. And I believe there's more downside to come in the market temporarily. And then a rally, that's tomorrow, Friday. And I believe next week we rally.
Uncertainty remains, so we'll see. Make sure you're with us tomorrow morning, guys. As Sean was saying there, 8:30 we'll get CPI for last month, which will be the last one before the Fed meeting. Bumble, I put this up here because I saw how much it was up. And yeah, it's 43%, which is insane to me. But Q4 profit beats. They also said they're going to leave Russia. I mean, the report wasn't even that great, to be honest. It was a beat, but only marginally. But there it is, 43% for Bumble today, guys.
Oh,
Wow.
So that made a break in the pre-market, which was really early and not a lot of volume and up 20-something%. Like all the things that I would never want to take a break because of liquidity concerns. And when it moved, I was saying 24 to 25 was the channel. It made the first check up at 23.99. So that got me to go short in front of it. And then you'll see what happens. I'll go back to the chart here. It goes to 23.99, pulls back, short the consolidation to VWAP. That works. Reload in front of 24. That breaks. I get out. The mistake was not going back to that 25 level. It got to 24.70, but it's holding up. I mean, like this is impressive. Up 40% and holding these highs. Look, it was a good report. Some of it probably has to do with it's got a short interest of like 7% or so. And it's been beaten up so badly that maybe it's just had so much more room to go to the upside. I get it. It's a bit of a reopen play as well. But I came in thinking there was going to be a fade here if you couldn't have that breakout trade. And it just never really materialized. There's been winnable trades if you were patient enough with those tops, which is what you have to do when you're going counter trend, but nothing that was going to be a home run. And it's shown no signs of filling that gap back in. I'll be interested to see how well this 23 area from the morning can hold up if there's any kind of a sell into the afternoon. Because, look, usually if the market pulls back like this, a name up 43% like this would be like low-hanging fruit. And to give an idea, like this is a relief rally in the stock. In context, on the daily chart, has it really even done that much? Not really. Like it hasn't even gotten back. It just barely got back to recent support there. And we're only talking a week and a half ago that this was above 27 bucks. So it's not as if, like, I get it, it's up 40%, but some of these percent rallies seem gigantic. But in the context of where the stock has come from, I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised. And that can be a bit of a learning lesson for some of these movers. When they start to get a bit of a bounce in them, heck, man, they can really run without actually testing big levels yet. The 50 period is still $5 away on the stock. That's another 20-something% when we're already up 44 today.
Yeah, I said it earlier, I didn't look at Bumble. It seems like it was a mistake. Should have been looking there, but we were not. I am just right now, just so you guys know, we are out of half now of this position here for Draftkings. It's just bouncing around between 90 and 94. So every time it kind of comes into here, I take a 92 bid, 93 bids. So now we can hold the rest. My next bid is actually at 83. Let's see if we can take out this low here. I don't know what the futures are doing, but this is the NASDAQ. I don't think it knows what it's doing. This may be the case for the rest of the day. So that's why I'm going to talk about my Roblox trade in a minute. We're going to go to frustrating trades. It's not going to be Roblox, but you can see the market right here just really barcoding. And I think that makes a lot of sense, knowing that there's numbers coming out, knowing that oil's closed right now at 230. Oil's going to close. So you're already down that 12%. It's going to close on NYMEX here at 230. So right now that'll be done with. And then it'll just be electronic trading. So maybe not too much volume coming in unless we get that big note from somebody, I don't know, about oil moving around or something with Iran or OPEC. So that's going to be that right now. So that's and the reason why I'm talking oil is Oxy just went on a run again from 55.50 all the way up to 57.50, and I was actually hovered right here, and I was like, this might be a good short. It's now down in the money now, about that 30 cents or so, but wondering about that. If we take that out, we'll see. Oil's now closed, so as I said, if it starts to tumble here, I think a short through this 50 period should be good. That's 56.50. So let's see if 56.50 comes into play. Maybe we can get $1 on the Oxy short if that does come through. So I'll probably look to short that 56.50 on Oxy.
I just saw, before we get on to frustrating stocks here, one we were talking about this morning, ASTS, Astra Space, just made a new high. Starting to come back in here on volume, though, so a heads up on ASTS. Remember, they got that new deal with SpaceX, a multi-launch deal with SpaceX. Let's talk frustrations for today, because, yeah, the open was crazy today, so there were a few.
So this is one of those where I could use CVX, and I guess that would be the easy thing to say, right? Like, we talked about oil and how frustrating that was overall, but it's not fair. Like, it's just, we've already gone over it. You guys kind of already know what happened there. So I'm going to go pivot to another name, and it's going to be a firm for me. And I sort of talk about going to the well until it runs dry. It's never the wrong thing to do, but it can be the wrong thing to sort of, when you miss out on a trade, you know, you never want to just sort of revenge trade back in or have the same expectations of it. And there was a bit of a mistake I made here off of 36. So at the open, there was the pop. This is 930, but tough to see, not much happening here. And then a firm makes a nice little pop into 36 and the fade. This is your trade, like right at 35.80, where I did eventually get into the stock. Right at 35.80, and then it pulls back in. And here's where the problem comes in. This bottom is $34.70. Now, that might not mean anything to anybody else, but I remember $34.70 very well, because that was, if I can pull back a little bit further on the 15-minute chart, that's this level. That's the level that gave me that big short a couple of days in a row. And then suddenly that same support level, which was great for the short trade, resistance level, which was great for the short trade, turns into a support level, and we start rallying from it. So without zooming back, after this move has happened and I've managed to not catch that first trade, I don't look back and say, okay, well, where did it bounce? Is there anything that should give me some caution in the trade? It bounces off that 34.7. Okay, that was a big level for me before. Maybe I should care about that and not get into the trade to the short side. I do take it. The only good thing I can say is I took the stop out. I didn't get too stubborn about it. I did get back in one time when it tried to reject 36 even, but then we took the stop out off of those highs. I did accidentally get into a long that I just paid the spread on, but you know, overall, if I had zoomed out, sometimes when the move happens, the initial move happens and you miss it, well, you've got new information, and the new information is, where was that low? Does this matter? Do I care? Sometimes the answer is no, you get right back in. But this time the answer was yes. I just didn't even bother checking. I was just like, oh, no, I want a shorter firm in front of 36. I had it written down. That's what I like. It's at my level. Hit enter. And that ends up being a mistake here today. Shorting a firm has been good, but today there was at least a sign that there was a bounce that mattered in the morning. I didn't catch the signal. And if I just gone to my 15-minute chart in the heat of the moment, I definitely would have seen it.
Look, mine's going to be a big win for me. It's going to be my number one stock. Well, it's not. AMD's my number one. Microsoft's going to be my number two, then AAL, so on and so forth. And we'll talk about the rest after. But, I mean, I gave this one to you, and I gave it to myself. And then, you know, I'm going to shout out, I think it's not Dinesh, who was mentioning that, you know, Krishna, I believe it was, talking about how, you know, just trust your own notes here. And honestly, like Microsoft, this is over and over again. It comes down to the key level. We didn't really have any reason not to hold this. I think we did pretty good taking $4 or $5 on this trade, but here's the 281 level for Microsoft. I feel like it's up that 4.5%. I called the NASDAQ move today when we were only up 2%. I said, I think we're going to go 4. And, you know, that's where we're at right now, and I don't have any softy on board. So that's sort of the mistake for me. Should have loaded up and really just held it until we at least broke a little bit below. We went to 280.80. At least I don't have any outs down here. You know, all the outs are nice positive. This is why it's my number one stock today. But again, I just feel like, you know, it should have been my number one stock, like, beyond belief. So it's a great trade. AMD was a fantastic trade as well, but this is the most frustrating because we pegged it, right? And it goes right down to our spot, and we did well. We made money, but I just feel like we should always hold a little bit more, let alone nothing. So that's my frustrating stock, and I'm glad you guys have it as well for Microsoft. But hey, that's why the sticky note's here. I'll keep doing it for you guys. I just got to, you know, hold on a little longer some of these plays.
Yeah. Lots of interesting moves here. We were just talking about McDonald's, Ms. V and I. Yeah, they were saying quitting Russia is going to cost them $50 million a month. That seems like a lot, but a lot of Big Macs apparently.
It's 9% of their revenues in Russia. 9% of their global revenue.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's $50 million a month. I just don't think that that's. I saw that note. I don't know, Brendan.
It's a huge market, though.
That's why I feel like 50 is not that much, though. That's the point. Their sales last year was 23.2 billion. So 50 million a month times 12 months. It just doesn't seem like it's that. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a number to me. So I don't know. For me, I almost screamed along McDonald's when I saw that because I was like, that's not that big. And that would have been perfect. Like that story came out, how long ago? 20 minutes ago? So yeah, we're dead right on that. The market loves that number. I feel like people thought it was more than that. So there we go. And
that's only 4%. What I read was 9.
That's what I mean.
This morning I read 9. That's about 4. Is my math wrong there? Because that's 600 million into... no, that's not even that much. It's like 2.5.
Look, it says right here, sales 23 billion. I don't know.
So that's 2.5 to 3%. When I swear, maybe the article was wrong, but I swear this morning I read 9% of global revenue. That sounds like about 3.
And I think that's why McDonald's is just ripping right now. It's just ripping off. It's up now $2 and change off of that report. Sure, the market's going, but the market's not really going. It's a nice move upside. Maybe it's 9. I don't know.
No, it's because no. Revenue was 9. It was 3% of net. So of earnings. So that is right. It's 3% of earnings. It's the same article I read. It was net. That's not sales. That's net. Yeah.
Lots and lots of Big Macs, whatever it is. Space, guys, just starting. Everything's going up, apparently, but even space. I wanted to mention this one as well. VORB, Virgin Orbit, also catching a bit today. Not a lot of volume here, but they all seem to be following this ASTS off that new contract that we mentioned. So even the space stocks getting a bid today.
Yeah, the sympathy rally for that ASTS. And I know, Dominic, we were talking about that one just a little, and we're going to cover it, but we got to get to DRCT. I almost wanted to say, Direct Digital Holdings. There it is. I'll get it right. I thought they were I actually thought they were a crypto company because when they gapped up, I'm like, okay, Direct Digital Holdings? Crypto was up, Bitcoin was up like 10% this morning. Oh yeah, that's got to be a gap or a crypto play. It's not. It's actually an advertising company, but it just made another run. I want to quickly point out a few things here. 250, 250 to 3, 350 to 3, $3 to essentially 250, $3 breaking. There's a bit of a pattern here, and it just got to 347 and then started pulling back in. Whatever this wants to do with that 50-cent range each time makes a little bit of sense to me. And the last time it did this, I didn't actually buy the dip at $3. I was just getting out. This time, hey man, why not? Buy the dip at 3 and just see if you can't quickly scalp it. But every 50 cents since about noon, this stock has been pretty much gold to make some scalp trades in here. Obviously, that's a big range, and it's up a ton, but this is just another one of these low floaters that's moving. The key, of course, is look at all the volume that's still churning through. Big volume spikes, which is supporting these moves.
All right, just going to get out of some DraftKings here. I don't know, it just came back up. We got a piece out, and now it's crashing. So DraftKings crashing, and by the way, we are, that was supposed to be reloaded. Did that work? Or we turned it off, maybe. We turned it off out here. I don't know. Let's see if our things are working. Yeah, they are, okay. Right there, but we did reload. I don't know if that reload worked on your ear. But okay, here we go. There we go, it's working. But there it is. So we reloaded our Roblox trade here. Short into this number, 44.60. That was the breakdown. We took some shorts. We just took, that's 44.60. Some of these outs 40s, some of these outs 30s. That's 20 cents, 30 cents. And then all the way down here was 80 cents. Now we'll reload this short against, and I know it's above the 50 period, so it's making me a little bit nervous. But I feel like, although I called the 4% in the face rip rally, and thanks for that, guys. We also talked about SOXL yesterday, and people were like, this market's not rallying, but maybe tomorrow it gives all of this back. So we don't hold overnight, and if you're watching us for the first time, thank you. And if you are, hit the like button. Also, hit the share button. Why not? Let's get some share going. But yeah, 44.50 is going to be the out in case we don't get back to this, but that's where my out is. I'm just making sure, and I trade everything mechanically, right? So I make the decisions with this up here, and then I let the keyboard, I'll get out as it goes, but it lets me take it out on the downside or upside with stop orders. So that's why I'm telling you that my stop order right now is here, and I'm actually, here it comes back to the downside. So we're once again now 20 cents in the money as this is coming back in, but I'm waiting at 44 flat or so to take that, and then we'll see if we get a lower bid here at 43.70 for Roblox. But I like the short here, especially if the market fades.
We got lots of questions about strategies and which ones are our favorite. Get ready, because here comes a scalping strategy. Wow. And we're talking 1 minute time frames. Everybody loves to work off of different time frames and loves charting. So here comes a few ideas for your 1 minute charts, guys.
Absolutely. Going to go with the simple one here because I was just talking about this stock and it's making some power moves. But anytime you find a gap up, so you were looking for something which wasn't very active, is gapping up, tries to make a clean break in the morning. A lot of times it'll reject pre-market highs. In this case, it tries to get above 250. This is DRCT. It pulls back and then makes an attempt to get below the range. So you have a potential breakout, couldn't quite go. That means maybe the long hasn't worked yet. And then you get it holding support and finding that bottom. And this is an afternoon type of play. So if you're looking for something in the morning, this is a setup that usually happens in the afternoon. But you find that nice consolidation bottom after it's held that support of the low. And then after about noon, it's almost always afternoon, I'm not going to talk about the short that I put on. I'm going to talk about this level right here. At about 12:30, it tries to get back above 250. You then hold VWAP, puts in higher lows, and then here comes volume back in. And this is one of the keys to the strategy on your 1 minute. You can see that as it's breaking into this 250 level up here, it's starting to do more volume than it was in the morning. That's a very key part about this, right? Like if it's doing less volume, I don't want it. I want something which tried to go in the morning, failed, but found support, and then is breaking out of a key level. In this case, that simple $2.50 on big volume. And on top of that, when it gets to $3, the next round number, it even gives you $3 to $3.50. So those are the keys. You want it to have tried to go in the morning on a gapper, doesn't quite, but finds that support all throughout lunchtime, and then volume, big time ramp up in the afternoon, and then it goes.
All right, so great examples there, playing off key levels. This happens all the time. I'm going to use the wick off bottoms that we talk about here on the show, and it's something that I look for. This happens to be at 9:30, but it's just such a good example. Normally, it's a little early to do it first thing in the morning, but I'm just going to use it for an example here. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you on Robux. We don't need anything but the chart, so maybe this works. Okay, so here we go. So here's the move down, right? And it's just followed by a nice red candle to the downside, but this is what I want to show you. Notice the volume down here. I don't know if you can see this. The volume is very small on this candle, right? This is 929, which is the open. So, you know, that's something that you're not going to get 1 minute before. You're not expecting huge volume. So we're kind of ignoring some of these volume spikes. But the thing here is, you see this wick off bottom there? So a big move down. And again, it sucks because it's at 9:30, but this does happen throughout the day. And there's other examples, but I just think this worked out well. Makes a bottom here at 42, right? Then you get this green candle, but look at this bottom is actually 42 flat. So you get a key level. And remember, we're talking about a 1 minute strategy here. That's the point, right? So this is a 1 minute candle and you're just trying to get this one break. So once it makes that bottom, so the big red candle forms, bottom there 42.15. Then you get a green candle that wicks that bottom at 42. Well, what I would do at this point is you play the long off the close of that candle. So that's like 42.30. You get a wick bottom down to that price, and then it just takes off. So again, this would have been right there. If you take the long at 42.30, within 1 minute, you're up here at 43.80. So that's $1.50 worth of a move here. And all you had to worry about was that bottom wick at a key price of 42. So the trade works like this. A move down, make that bottom wick, then take the long either on the candle before break, right? Or let it settle, find the bottom there, reload it or take it at that bottom, and then use this as your bottom wick candle. So that would have got you out at 42. And you're gonna say, well, it just looks good because of the candle, but it doesn't matter. If you could take the long there and then get out if it breaks. It's 30 to 40 cents worth of downside risk to get that upside move. So I would play it to the top of that candle. That's only $1, but if you hold, you get that whole move back up. So I call this the wick off bottoms. The same thing is at the top. You got to look for that candle with volume where you have that wick and then play the bottom wick, because that's where demand and or supply, depending on which way you're going, has dried up.
The best part of all of these ideas, you can do this on any time frame. Yes, we're focusing on 1 minute charts, but these specific formations you can find on any time frame. Let's talk about entries very quickly. I'll give you just a very simple, basic idea for entry. if you're looking at, you heard the guys talking about significant levels. Here comes another one. Obvious support on this stock in the pre-market. You get a break of that support on decent volume. Simply selling the low of the prior candle is a great idea. You get the consolidation after the initial flush. Selling the low of the prior candle, great idea. Once the trend is established, once we're moving in the right direction. So whether it comes to entries, whether it comes to looking for trades for specific formations for trades, or whether you're looking for an exit simply off of a 1 minute candle, there's tons of ways we can do this, guys, on any time frame. So I would say maybe even, I don't know if you guys agree, but the most versatile time frame. Yes?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you get the most randomness happening there, and if you're looking for different patterns, they're easy to find. The only problem when you're looking at a 1 minute chart, of course, is that you got to be careful with your share size, because if things happen so fast, you don't want to make keystroke errors, maybe put on too many shares, things like that, and you also have to watch the market. So,
great ideas for your 1 minute scalping time frame, guys. Let's continue. Lots to keep an eye on here. I was just watching this IMPP, just to note some of these crazy little tiny oil stocks trying to get back to the upside. IMPP at 450. Zest, we didn't even get to Zest yet, but Zestfully Clean is at day lows as well, guys.
Of course it's that day low.
Oh, Brendan.
Look, man, like that's just an awesome ticker. What can you say about that? I'm gonna zoom out really slow on this one. There's 225. Oh, wow, that seemed really good this morning. Nope, not anymore. It closed at 305. So when this made this flush, I'm like, okay, thank you. But overall, it made another leg down. Sometimes, I think I've said this before, but sometimes you have to be willing to short things like just lower. It doesn't even matter that at that point it's turned green to red. It's insane. Like, I know these go parabolic, and when they do, a lot of times you're looking for it to make a base. Sometimes the base is actually right where it came from, which was a $2 low, and this one was just destined to get there in Zest. So I don't mind. Like, this is a pop and fade trade. There was a question on the midday show about, what do you do when people are in slumps? I say, what is the best thing that you do? And make sure that works for you. Start going back into that. And if I like the pop and fade on a gapper, which is showing weakness, small cap, gapper, showing weakness. These are the highs. This is it. Right back to the initial aftermarket support. And then when I'm sitting down at like 7 a.m., it's already breaking support. That sets it up for a short trade. You can see it break 370 floor right here. So pop and fade off of that 370 level. It goes right past yesterday's close, and it continues to fall. So go to the setups that work for you, man. That's the way to do it. Speaking of which, that direct, of course, it just went to 350 again and faded. So it just feels like this is going to continue. I was at the time on the bid at that $3 when it got here. Now it's a double top 350. I mean, I'll probably try it at 3 if it can try to check up there. I think 250 VWAP as well are going to be levels. Watch out if this takes out the high. It's so bullish in the market. That's not the market. The volume holding up really well, but it's uncanny actually how it'll get to that 50 level, and then the stacked offers just start popping in there. And for anyone watching CYRN, I threw that one in the chat. Like, it flushed off 1050, and then someone jammed 100,000 shares or so at 9 to stall the move. Well, not stall the move, but prevent it from halting, I think. So it bounced off of $9 off of a large order on CYRN.
Yeah, just when we were gone doing that, we can go bang, because there it is. We did take that out, 4405 there on Roblox. So there's an out, or sorry, 08 on Roblox there. So we got that out. It did go as low as 43.93 on the reload. So there it was. Took a short there. Nicely done to the downside. Let's just wait to see. I'm just saying the market's nicely done here as it's starting to go to the downside. So let's wait to see. My next bid is in the 80s. I'll give it to you exactly 84. So no real reason why. Again, sometimes I just put I put the limit key and I just hold down and until I get into the 80s, somewhere where I like it. So I'm not smart enough, nor I don't think anybody else is, to ping this to the exact cent when it looks like this. So we're going to wait here in the 80s, just like where we got there. That was 89, 88 off this drop. We did try the long here, by the way. Long, and got out, and then hit the short again. So Roblox a positive name, but we'll have to wait to see positive on the day, 5%. We're going to wait to see if it does give some of this back. Like, Roblox is up more than the market. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So we'll wait to see. I mean, I'm a big fan of Roblox, and you ask my daughter, I'm playing that thing way too much probably. But you'll see down to the downside here, 43.70 if we get a fall down. But look what the NASDAQ is doing. I really think that although it's only 250, I'm almost like tempted to say maybe we should just start scalping, like go into scalp mode right now. So that's maybe what we're gonna do. And just to let you know, like that out is only gonna look like, because it shows that I have 24, it's only gonna look like a 20-cent win, but it was the last piece of that, and now we're holding on to this. So 44.50 here will get out, but Roblox is trying to break through the 50 period. I feel like it's gonna be more strong than weak at this point. So, we may have seen the last of this trade, but if you do see me get it out, it's gonna be at 44.50 right there for Roblox. If there's anything you guys want us to trade, I mean,
I just want to
go ahead. Yeah.
Someone asked me a little bit earlier, I think it was while we're sort of talking about the strategy, what my outs were for AMD. And when I started momentum trading, I actually did used to draw trend lines like really, really early on. I don't really use them very much anymore, but every now and then I'll throw one in there if I like how it looks. So I threw a trend on AMD. Now my target has been about 112 to 113 all day long on the dip buy. I'm showing up my 10-minute because that's, or my 3-minute that's black because that's what I use. But it's been bouncing off of this line that I have here. And I've just been moving my trailing stop as it goes higher and higher. And part of the reason why I'm using that method is because, like Sean said, like we're just barcoding in the futures here off those highs. So if we break it out, great. I think we get that 112 target. But if we don't, we just keep, it's a tighter and tighter thing, and I want to have some indication of tightening up my trail, so if the market turns on me, that I'm not giving AMD all the way back to VWAP or something ridiculous. And that trend line just allows me to continuously tighten that stop up, which is what I'm trying to accomplish. So, that's essentially what I'm going to be doing here in AMD. I did say that it was one when I got it, I wanted to hold on to it hopefully all day long, same way as the Lucid short. I had a couple of scalp trades, and now we're just looking to hold it. On the higher time frame, this is what I'm looking at for 112 to 113 on my 15-minute chart. Just go back to the beginning of the week. We're at a nice little consolidation there, and then, the end of last week, I should say. And then on Friday, that ended up being the top, 112, with a little bit of a spike to 113. So that's the channel that I'm looking to get out in front of. It gave you a series of dip buys, but looking to hold on to it. But I've got a trailing stop in, which I keep adjusting, as obviously you get a trend line. It's a bit of a moving target as you go forward, right?
Yeah, no, just an update quickly, for sure, and those are great outs on AMD. I had the same kind of a trade here. We learned our lesson. We went long. We got out at 107. Then when it broke VWAP, we took a long. Then when it broke the 50 period, we took a long, and then we reloaded it. Like these longs is 107, and that out is 109.60. So that was about $2.50, and then it came right back in to that 108 again, and we hit it, and then we got out at 110.13 there one more time. So yeah, trying to hold is pretty tough for me to do that. But yeah, so just on Draftkings, so look how choppy this market is. Like I was gonna say, I actually canceled another short. Like I had a short here at 18.10 to reload this position. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I don't need to do anything with Draftkings. I feel like this is the short that we have on. It's printing for me. It's a positive name for me today. It's up that 3.5%. Not really worth dancing here. Like if it comes up, it comes back up here. There's too much chop in this area for me to like say, oh, if it breaks this, I'm gonna hold. Like I don't really have a target area to get out here. It's too choppy, so that would leave me at this 18.20. And really, I don't want to load up on something for a 10-cent hit because, if the market's going to barcode like this, am I really even going to get a 10-cent move if it does retest? So we're going to hold this. We'll go short a little bit at 15 and then use 20 as our out. So if Draftkings by some reason starts to rip back up to the upside, here comes Roblox down a little bit. If Donkey Kong rips back up here, then we will get short at 18.15, just to tell you, because I do get questions all the time. Let me know where your orders are. I mean, here I'm telling you, 18.15 to get short, using 20 as an out, 5 cents worth of a stop. Why? Because I believe we can get about 15 cents worth of a winner back to 18. That's where this 50 period is. So give me the short here, give me the out here, or the out at 18.20. Roblox, again, we got a piece out there when it came back up. Now we'll hold the rest. We'll see if we get this monster move down, which I don't know if it's going to happen, but if the market does break, like you're looking for a break in 13,640 here. So if you can break this low where we had some volume come in at these levels, started to spike up, if we can break, like it wanted to go down, spiked back up. So you're looking at 13,640 here on the NASDAQ. So if that breaks, then I feel like maybe floodgates are open, but that's just some rough ideas here as we're still looking for more opportunity.
There's a bit of a wick top there on Tesla. I just looked Tesla breaking 857 or 6 and then just
So
wick top
choppy.
and then right back. Everything's so choppy. And there was earlier in the morning, someone asked me where I thought the U.S. steel was going. And this was probably when it was closer to 30. Because I remember it was some point during the morning show. So definitely before it broke out, but made its second leg up. And I said about 31.5, just going right back to this resistance point here at 31.5, and then it broke away from that price. Said it ran away from this price in every direction. Of course, you know, right after we finish the show and I get up, it makes a turn at 31.25. I tried shorting the consolidation, but you better believe it. I forgot to ask in the chat there. I'll shout you out if you come back. But 31.50 is what I'm looking for. It got to 31.43. I don't want to make the mistake that I made a bit earlier, which is just seeing this. It was weird. I was saying to Sean, I'm like, what happened in some of the metals? Like it read at 12.40 or so, Nucor, US Steel. A bunch of these things pulled back. And that made me short when it retested this 31 instead of waiting for the level I like, which is right up here at 31.50. So it's on the radar, but I'm looking for it to push right into that last little leg and then get that last rollover on US Steel. Going counter trend, get the price you want. Don't jump into it too early, because if it's going up strong, it's likely to give you a good entry if you're looking for a particular price. Like it's grinding higher. Right? Like if it's not, I'm not chasing something down. I'm looking to go counter trend so I can be patient. Miss V.
Hey guys, just 3 minutes left until the power hour, and I hope you're all doing great. I remind you to like this video, and again guys, remember it's one big show. We stream from 8:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. but it's 3 different streams, which means each of you should give us 3 likes per day. Guys, please take it as a habit and make sure you give each show the like and support the community. Now back to guys.
So thank you, Ms. V. Yeah, give some love to Ms. V. Give some show likes as well on the chat. So thank you so much for that, and share it. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, is build community. We're almost 300,000. I got 30,000 Twitter follows, 10 times the subscribers on YouTube. So let's start flowing some through. Yeah, exactly. Share it. Tell everybody what you're watching in the afternoon and all day as well. My steel play was Nucor. We were long 3 times. And shout out to Austin if you're here. I'm going to keep shouting him out because every time I say Nucor, he shows up in the chat. But yeah, we're long at 95. We just took some out at 138 the other day. We tweeted it out when that happened. I don't think it's at a reload spot yet. I'd like to get this thing down into the teens for Nucor. And again, raising cash, man. Like every time we get a bump up, like, you know, why not put some money maybe into a McDonald's now or something like that, or a Nike that is well below some levels. But Nucor, obviously, talk about steel and then go over to Nike. It's a little different, but that's what that is there. There was another name I want to talk about. You mentioned Tesla. Wasn't Draftkings, Occidental's moving around. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Maybe Facebook. I mean, Facebook's back up near that 200. This is not what it was. This is just thinking what's on my mind. Facebook's back up to 197 again here. This is the 20-minute for Facebook. You can see how choppy this really is. I couldn't believe the rip that happened yesterday. We talked about that. 198 the top, 196 the bottom. So, I mean, Facebook right now today, very much caught here, waiting for a move. If there's one name that I'm not very bullish on, and I'm very bullish, obviously, is Facebook. It's been hit down. I mean, I'm nowhere near as bear, like Prad saying the stock is dead. No, it's not even close to being dead. This is going to be up. Like, if someone wants to bet me now, I'll take a bet. Like, Facebook is higher a year from now than it is today. So if someone wants that, I'll take that bet.
I don't think Prad said that. Did he?
Oh yeah. Facebook said this. I mean, we could talk to him tomorrow.
I'm curious.
But oh no, for sure. He said.
Well, the discussion I know we had this discussion. I think what we were sort of saying was, if you look at it was the context of the 4 horsemen. It was like Microsoft, Dell, Intel, and Cisco. Like 25 whatever years ago were the big cap tech stocks, and the only one left is Microsoft. So if you looked at the FANG names now and you had to say, okay, well that tells you only one. But I'm not saying pick the one that will be there. If you had to pick one that won't be there, and I would have said Facebook. If you made me choose between Apple and Microsoft and Alphabet and Facebook, and say which one will not be one of the top 5 or top 10 market cap stocks, I'd say Facebook wouldn't be, because the other ones feel like safer bets. But that's not to say.
So would I.
It's not to say Facebook's going down, but that was what we were talking about before. I don't know what Prad was saying.
So you think Facebook's higher a year from now or not?
I think so.
We don't have to bet. I'm just saying what you think.
I would still say it'll perform the worst out of those 4, but it can still be higher.
Yeah,
but you're talking a year from now, like not even.
It's the only name I'm not buying on the dip, so it's not like I'm already fully invested in it, but I will buy Google, Microsoft, and Apple on dips. So that is, yeah, I know Brad said that. I know. I was listening to him. I was like, what is this?
Okay, I know. I didn't hear it.
And I got to give a big shout out because, again, on the chat, and I want to say, pronounce, if I pronounce this wrong, I apologize. Diraj, I think that's pretty close there. He's saying thank you to us for talking about Clover the day before, that he's made a lot of money or a little bit of money. I don't know, whatever. That's all relative to who you are. But you're welcome for that Clover trade. And again, it's that same talk. What I was saying about Clover is about all these names. And I just think that you could put on YOLO trades on these names, man. Like for Clover, it's a little different because, you know, its bottom was actually $2. But you could see, like, look at the volume. Maybe we can go big screen quickly here, Randy, just for a second. There it is. Yeah, like, look at the volume. Low volume, low volume, low volume, nothing. And then earnings came, and the volume, although today isn't great, it was nice off the open, you can see it's kind of kept up volume here. So, you know, that's always interesting to see when these big guys, and today it's only 21 million, but it's some nice volume back-to-back days here. First day earnings, then yesterday it rallied as well, and now you're kind of hovering around the top. But let's not call Clover a winner by any stretch of the imagination, at least for my portfolio. You know, I'm stuck long Clover, and I'd have to check the price. The problem is like I'm stuck long PaySafe and Clover, both of these names that have gotten absolutely shit canned. Am I allowed to say that on the PM show? I don't know. Bleep that out, whoever's editing this. But both of these stocks got absolutely killed. So I never know what my average price is. I think one is around 6 and one is around 7. So still a lot of work to do in both of these names. But you'll also see PaySafe. I think PaySafe's a New York stock. Yes, it is. There it is. Both of these names, yeah, I think you would have lost on that one. But most of the financials now, but then SoFi's not. So I don't know. Anyways, PaySafe, another one today, up that 10%. So look, these have been horrible plays, absolutely destroyed. Both SPACs, both horrible. And you can see, hopefully, it starts to move back upside. But yeah, nothing to really party about for me. But thanks for the shout out on the chat.
Party like it's 1999. Well, when you get volatility like this,
might have to hold these till 2020.
And don't get me wrong, like there's going to be lots of things that don't come back to other levels. It's more just about, okay, what is the business now? What can you value it at, and get a reasonable idea of what the turnaround might be. And
Chelsea Clinton, you know, I mean, the Clintons can't do anything wrong, can they?
Chelsea Clinton.
Oh God, we're talking about politics. I should have said that. All right, I'm gonna get ban hammered now.
Don't even get me started,
ban myself from this?
There's a really good book on the Clintons. Anyways, I shouldn't. We really shouldn't.
Right, and if you read that book, would you follow the Clintons?
We're not supposed to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, don't talk about Bruno
first of all, I've read the book twice.
Yeah, I know you have. I know you have.
Anyways. We're not supposed to talk about politics. So back to U.S. Steel, by the way. So it got in front of that 31.50. It's starting to come down here. My first bids are in front of 31.20, but we can do a little bit of this. I haven't got a target out on that yet, but every time, and this is the weird thing about, there's no automated way to move my stop when using this trend line. I'm kind of curious if that's something that we could code into the system. But every time we grind a little bit higher, just keep moving my trailing stop on AMD. I haven't really moved the target from in front of 112. But we are continuously, like now, like the channel we're in the futures is insane. 13.7, now we're not even breaking 13.7. It's less than 40 points on the NASDAQ minis. And I think we have a chance to break out. If we do, AMD works. But the tighter it gets up here, the more sharp the pullback can be. And that's why each time I'm giving up less. My trail's now at 110.50 when it was sitting at 110 when I sat down on the show. I'm just moving it up and up and up as we keep making a tighter wedge. So it's getting pretty binary for me on that stock. Of course, DRCT, like I get into US Steel and DRCT does that 350 thing again, but you know what? It never got to $3. I guess it started to be too obvious maybe, right? Like that $3 level, when it broke and went to 350, the pullback went to 308. So if you were trying to get 2s to 5s, which usually that's exactly what I'm trying to do, It then bounced up to 350, breaks it by 3 cents, and it's trying to come back. Looks pretty strong at this point. So maybe it is going to take out the high. The current high is 365 because this wick is real. The first time it went here, it was going parabolic. It was the second time through that it ended up holding 350. It was just way too illiquid the first time through. That was a real wick off top here. But the consolidation was so low, there's no way I would take that. I mean, 365 top to down to 320. You short that and your out might be 350. That's the risk to reward I didn't like at all. But it's now calmed down a heck of a lot. Dominic, I know you're looking at this stock very strong. So I'm glad you're able to catch that. Market, go, go, go. Like, I know I'm holding a Lucid short, which at some point I should tell you the plan with it. I'll go to the 15 so you can actually see why we're in this trade. This is a 15-minute chart on Lucid. You'll remember yesterday we were shorting this level. It was great. It gave you the entire move to the downside all day long and holding it. But now it keeps on bouncing off these 40s and 50s, and I keep shorting it. But it's giving me 2 outs, and now we're just holding the high. So I do have something that if the market rolls over from here, it should extend through the downside. And that's because despite continuously breaking highs, Lucid has not gotten through that resistance. It's yesterday's top. It's last week's high as well. That double top has yet to go. If we hold 25 today, tomorrow, I will be coming in saying 25.75 breakout on Lucid. You guys can see how big that gap is to the upside. It'll just be worth it. But for now, I am, of course, short.
Okay, the market is reloading. And here's that 4%, guys. Here's that 4% coming through. So watch out below if you're short. But yesterday at this time, you guys will remember what we said about Soxel. I said that, we were watching AMD yesterday. We were watching NVIDIA. And I just said there's such a crazy bid on all of these semis, right? Just big time movements here. There's Soxel in 1 day up 14%, and you're going to get more than this. That's the funny part about it. So watch out for this. I still think this blows up huge. But if you did take that call from mine yesterday on this, or for yourself, you may want to take profit. I mean, I would have took profit probably throughout the day, let alone at the day's high, because the NASDAQ is bumping right now, guys. I mean, this is a monster move here. I mean, anyone that's looking at this, nice little move up. There's that. I mean, we're getting really close to the 4%, so we'll drop the bang right there for that. Like, what a great day, regardless of not having anything on right now. This is a nice little relief rally. So, hopefully your portfolios are seeing a little bit of a bump today if you're long. Maybe you'll sleep well tonight, but tomorrow, I'm not sure how well we should be sleeping. Let's put it that way. Big stuff coming tomorrow, but a very, very nice day. I would say if you're trying to YOLO something, today's a day where you take out half, 100%. Like, I thought that was, when I said it was going to go 4%, obviously I'm not long anything right now, so it's not like I believed in it super, super strong. But I did want to talk about Roblox. It's not moving. Wow, I really thought this name would go on that move. We are trying to take a break long. So if we break above 30s, we're going to go long. And that's that tick right there. It almost got it. One more move. Look, there's that wick top again, by the way. So there's a nice move up on the wick. And now if you wanted to go short Roblox, you'd go short Roblox right here off that strategy, 44.25, the previous candle's bottom right there. And now you could hold it against that high. So there's the wick strategy right here, right now. Looks like it worked, but I still like this long on Roblox breaking above 44.30.
Speaking of the wick off, that would have got me short in a firm, which oddly enough, it got to $37 and broke. It broke out a little bit, but it gave you that wick top and then a bit of a consolidation. It then made the break. And as the market broke out, a firm still reversing a little bit here. So you can still use this 37 level. I kind of like to see that, right? Like when the market's breaking out of the high, did something already get too far? And is relative, whether it's relative strength or weakness, who cares? You can use either one to your advantage. I'm just sort of noting up 7.5%. So yes, it's relatively strong. But on that bump to the upside, if we end up failing the break, a firm's going to fall. Just based on what I'm seeing here. So I'd love to see us get, I don't want to see us get back below that 13.75, but if the futures do make that move, then it's a firm that I would want to jump into a short. But at this particular point, we are running to the upside, so we're getting pretty close to that AMD. For everyone that keeps asking me what the book is, just look up an author called Christopher Hitchens, and you'll find it. Good author. But 112 is the level on AMD. I keep moving my trailing stop. At this point, it's going to be up, at 110.90 and change. But there's no way this it can't lose. But now that we've broken out, I feel pretty safe that we're going to be able to hold this into that 112 level, or at least lock in the $2.50. Unfortunately, that might not be the same fate for this U.S. steel trade, which was looking pretty solid. It was about to break this level and probably get us filled. And now you're sort of re-engaging to the top. So U.S. Steel potentially breaking that 31.50. Once it gets a couple of shekels above that price, I'm going to get stopped out. You'll see it live. My hands are on the keys. I got a stop order there. If you see the line above, and just to make things clear, by the way, because sometimes you'll see that line above, it is a stop order, but that actually indicates like the limit price I'm bidding to. So if I have an aggressive limit order, it'll seem like my stop is way up here when really it's here. But that's just the price I'm crossing up to. I don't use market orders. I don't know if you use market orders either. I use aggressive limit orders so that I cross past the bid. It's essentially the same kind of thing, but it's not an actual market. I bid to infinity price, which I don't like doing. So if you see that line above, that's not me offering higher. That's actually, and it's not my actual stop line. That's just my stop order limit price.
Yeah, yeah, to your point, no, I don't use market. I don't even have market key set up. So,
which I see the merit in having a key key having set up, even if you don't use it, having it there just in case.
Okay, we'll go grenade launch dropping here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but Draftkings, I mean, all it's doing is coming in, and I'm just keep getting out every time because it's at the 50 period. But right now, there's the grenade, dropped below the 50 period, finally here, and actually starting to make a move down. And I know this is ridiculous because we're only in the money here 15 cents, but 14 cents, but you know, I still think we test here. No more bids. My next, and this time I'm for real, next bid is going to be down here at 80. We'll see, or 90, sorry, at VWAP. I know it's not like huge, but, you know, shorting and just getting it out. And that's because I'm using shares, you know, able to do that. Let's see, here comes into 90s again. So maybe there is going to be something there. As we're starting to now drop down a little bit here in the overall market, it just ticked out. I don't know, did it get to 4%, maybe 3.8 or something? Up there, 13.7, 780. It's only 311, so I don't know if there's any early mock imbalances. It really hasn't mattered lately, though, because the imbalances come out and kind of just wishy-washy back and forth. So definitely something to pay attention to. You know, Draftkings down here to 90. We will get loaded back on that one. I tried a small Tesla short in here. Didn't work. I got in and out for like 50 cents. It was a loser. But you can see Tesla is starting to break upside again, but still very much barcoding, man. I mean, maybe that 860 is something. Who knows what we're looking out for here in Tesla, but it doesn't look like it really wants to move either.
You know what's...
Yeah, what else is moving?
What's a little bit strange to me, like I get it. I know crypto made that nice bounce to the upside. Every time I look over, I'm like, is my Binance chart like frozen? We're still at 42. And then I realize, no, it's not. But like SI is up at 18%. And it's the last time it made a run and started disconnecting on the way up from overall crypto prices. It got out of hand and got up to like 230. And then early in the move, I was like, sell it. And then it ended up going to 220 when you sell like 180. But if we break 140 in the next couple of days, or even maybe tomorrow, who even knows? It doesn't really matter. If we break this and we start seeing that 170, 180 level on this stock, and Bitcoin is not actually breaking past the 4,500, then this not normally a day trade stock is going to become a day trade stock to the short side. I'm just noting how ridiculously strong it is holding up here. And despite the fact that there was no real continuation on Bitcoin, yet that's exactly what we're seeing. We're coming back down in the futures. Fine, maybe I'll get trailed out of AMD. It can't be a loser at this point, but I do want to make sure that I have a trailing stop in there to lock in the profit. And if we do continue this pullback, still watching a firm close enough to those highs, still below that 37. If we can't sustain this breakout, this is the one that I want to jump into a short side trade. Somehow I have managed to not get stopped out. We've gone real close, giving it a couple of extra pennies past 50s on U.S. Steel, and somehow it just is not managing to stop me out just yet. So we're only about a couple of cents away from doing so. I'm not really thinking that confidently it's going to hold, but I'm not going to move my stop at this point either. But a firm is the one I'm looking to try to jump into a short. Anything that can't take out the top here that I think is an overall weak name, that's gone more than the market, possibly overextended, that can be a retracement if the market pulls back here. Not that it's showing any signs yet of doing that.
Okay, so you guys want to talk SOPA? Why not? Let's have a quick look here at SOPA. Wow, nice little move upside here. Was it just halted? Maybe it was halted there. I didn't really see what, or is that just a gap?
I think you just have
did it just gap?
I have the same gap.
The volume. Oh, I think we halted here. I think we must have halted at 3-ish, and then we just. I don't know. But anyways, Brendan will come if there's any news on SOPA. A nice little move here. You can see, we were just at 275 right there. 275 into $3 has been a really nice high there. This might be a decent short without knowing the news. It's a little bit crazy. We know this is going to be a low float name. Look where it's come from. It's already been up here numerous times before. Let's go to a daily chart there. Now SOPA's going higher. Okay, wow, all right. Yeah, about that. This is that Society stock, right? Society Pass or something like that. I think this is I believe this is Chinese social media or something, or something like that. But yeah, SOPA right now starting to go. I'm going to assume. Wow, look at the daily on this stock. Nuts, man. This thing went back down to $3. You know why this is going? Just because it hit 350 again or whatever it is. So SOPA's been low, and that's not why. I mean, it's been down there for a while, but there it goes, man. Big time stock. That might have just been the short. You use that wick bottom top or whatever that we're talking about right now. $3. There it goes. Going to break above 3, then there's your out. So you might have just lost 10 cents there if you took $3 as your out. But let's see what SOPA does up to $3 here. I don't know if you have to pay for shorts, but this name looks
You do, but
spicy.
they're less than 1 cent a share, which means, of course, I'm short at 97. I actually pushed my stop to like 305 just because I looked at this. It actually, when I got in, it had a spread of 3 cents. And if there's even if it's a cheap stock, if the spread is 3 or 4 cents, then there's no way I want to use like an even $3 level. And lo and behold, it went from 3, and the high is now 303. Yeah. So a lot of times, like if you have the level 2 up, it can help because we were trading. What was that one yesterday that? It was $1 stock,
Mullen,
and then I was
maybe?
like, no, it wasn't Mullen, it was another one. And all of a sudden the spread on the thing, ooh, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. And then all of a sudden the spread on it was 5 cents on a stock that was $1.20. And I said, I don't want to trade this. Why would a $1 stock have a 5-cent spread when it's done 3 million shares worth of volume? So in that particular case, if the spread is reasonable, but 3 cents even as I'm looking at it now, 81 to 84, then give it a little bit of room off that $3 high. Like the second you said SOPA, I went to the higher time frame, saw that $3, and was like, got to pay for shorts on this. Why it's not just free? Why you're even paying 0.079 cents, whatever that? Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're paying on it. Day Trade the World. We have lots of free locates. Almost everything is going to be a free locate, but you have to get locates and you have to have them. There's no naked shorting. You got to follow the rules. And sometimes, if they're not available for free, you can put in a quote or you can request a quote to pay for locates, and then you can use those shares throughout the rest of the day. Although Arun never wants to do it because some kind of principle he has against paying for shorts.
That IMPP, just the same kind of trade here. Just took out 5, it looks like, on this move as well. So, yeah, there's 5 just got taken out, which was the high of the afternoon here on IMPP. So, just another run. It's a petroleum, obviously, play there. I don't need to tell you guys. I feel like you guys are on these all the time. So, IMPP, a nice little bump up here. Not on too much volume. The volume was crazy, but this is very choppy. Like, I mean, I don't really see that much here. Very, very choppy off the open. You had to like really suffer through this move in the pre-market if you were long, and then all of a sudden the market opened up right here down at 440 and then just busted upside here on IMPP. So that's definitely a nice move upside there all the way to 6, comes back in, and then look at this, like it just kind of gets long again near this bottom of the day, 450. So once again, man, another great opportunity. If you were looking at IMPP there, a petroleum name, so obviously it would be on your radar today, and a nice move back to the upside. So, hey, watch out for this name. Again, into the 6, I think is a short. I think it's a little bit crazy to hold anything, especially in the oil patches for these next couple days, considering what's coming tomorrow and the 12% move down right here on oil today. So NASDAQ is up 4%, oil down 12. Man, there's going to be a lot of stuff to be talked about in the next couple of days here.
Look at these. I mean,
I can't believe Roblox is not moving, but you have Volkswagen up?
No, I mean, look, shout out Randy. Like Randy sent in our chat. Randy, he's an auto guy, right? So he puts Volkswagen, holy you know what, Volkswagen.
What?
I can say shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, up 10.5%.
I already did.
Look, it's obviously, look, it's closed because Europe has been closed for quite some time now. So I'm showing you where it closed today because this is actually in Germany where I'm watching it and looking at today's action. But this is up from 130 2 days ago. So as much as you have a 10% move, and a big rally, look at what's going on overall. It's still been really badly beaten up, just like everything else has been. But monster moves, monster relief rallies in a lot of these names. It's just we're definitely seeing huge moves. You're not even back to previous support, which is at 160, despite the fact you just came up 20 euros on this name. So good for Volkswagen, good for a lot of names. It's just been super strong throughout the market. I said it was eventually going to happen. Like I knew, where are you?
I mean, look at NIO here. I mean, NIO's up more than Volkswagen, up that 13%. And remember yesterday on the sticky note, I don't know if we even have it here yesterday. Oh, yeah. Wow, that was crazy. Look at this on NIO yesterday, man. NIO, obviously how you pronounce it, but NIO, the ticker. NIO yesterday, what a difference a day makes, man. We were shorting the living you-know-what out of this yesterday, including a monster winners to the short side here, shorting this 1875 like mad. And then today, and again, like I just wish this was on my radar early. Like it should have been a break of that 1875 here. Bang, nothing but love to the upside once we break that high from yesterday where we were shorting like a maniac. Like these are shorts at 1870. There's some outs right there at this time yesterday when we barcoded down here at 18 up to 21 and change today. So I know Volkswagen, great move, but you got 3% more on this NIO move all the way to the upside as well. Okay, Draftkings, I see you now. Draftkings finally starting to move to the downside right now. So we'll do a little bit of as it just got us out at VWAP. We still have, it's like a third left, honestly. Like I'm not getting out of many shares. I'm just trying to like piece it out on the way down. That's that bid we said we take at 90. It's a 91 bid, just got it. And now we'll wait to see lower. I'm waiting at 83. We have that bottom there at 78. Or is it 84? It's 83. We're waiting there. Hopefully it comes crashing in. I don't think it's
I have a question for you.
Going to do that.
What is VWAP?
Yeah, volume weighted average percentage.
I only say that because we do educational videos. I know you guys already know this, but I'm pretty sure like the first one we ever did was on VWAP. And oddly enough, people always talk about what indicators we have in our charts. I mean, like I have literally nothing on my 1 minute except for VWAP and volume.
Yep.
And I know, like I said, I drew a trend line on. Sometimes I'll add things. I drew a trend line on my AMD chart. Every now and then, I might throw a stochastic up there, a moving average on something that I'm following on a bigger time frame on one of my other ones. But for the most part, I try to keep it relatively clean, and that's what it's all about. But I think we all have VWAP just as that nice little reference point. When you're scalping, a lot of times it's just a good exit point for a lot of your trades, and it can work out for you. We'll hit some keys around here. I'm going to use this one because you don't. Oh, it's not going to work? We broke it. Okay, anyway, SOPA. SOPA right back to that 280. So
we don't even have our trades on.
We don't even have, our trades aren't working either. So anyways, I'm still in SOPA. I have taken another leg out in front of 280. The short we got was 94 here when it failed at $3. I got a bid down in the mid 70s. And then from here, oh, look at that. It's VWAP. I'll be all flat if it gets anywhere near VWAP, 265. I might as well just put the bid down there. Yeah, so if it gets to VWAP, I'll get all out of it. Looks like things are back and working. So there you go, Brendan.
Another blast from the past here, guys. Rev B. I guess it wasn't that long ago. I feel like this has been around here longer than this, but maybe I'm wrong. Rev B going here as well on basically no news, it would appear. This is another 13 million market cap and low float, guys. So watch out for Rev B.
All right. So how frustrating is this? Market there. By the way, there's that 4%. I have no idea what this means. Oh, shredding the money. Okay. There it is right there. Someone said they want to play duck hunt and hit Pratt in the background. That would be a good idea. As he's walking around back there. Okay. So yeah, just to talk about a few things right now. All right, Draftkings. Funny because the market's starting to rip to the upside right here, and Draftkings is starting to head to the downside right now. So that's kind of strange. And the same thing's kind of happening now in Roblox. How are we taking out these highs, but none of these stocks want to freaking move? Like, frustrating stock of the day, I'm changing my mind. Roblox,
Not
right?
allowed.
I mean, look, it's fine. We're in the money here. Short, fine. Out. Like, it's fine. But honestly, like, it's not moving. And then now when the market finally starts to go up, this name wants to come back down. So I don't know what's making this charge here today. I know it's Microsoft, and we had that at 281.
It's the better tech names, man. That's what I see.
Yeah. Apple right here up 3%. That makes sense. It's Microsoft that's up 5%. Prad the other day was like kind of bitching about not getting Apple, and I said just buy it right now, Apple. Like as soon as. Yeah, I said put a bid at 152. Like at some point it's not going to matter.
You're too young to care.
It's not going to matter. Like.
No, but I'm being serious.
He's
too young to care about 52 or 54.
I looked at my account, like I'm long 70 something.
Who cares?
What does it matter?
You're
like
not selling it until
71,
you're 50 or something.
77?
Or not even. When you retire. Whenever
I don't know. Brad might pull the trigger early. I don't know. I feel like but he still has that AMD. So AMD, he held that 30% in the money when he was long 100 up to
Brad
1.
premature, no chance.
Okay. There it is. Let's just keep going, guys. All right. That's that trade. So I think it's going to be Apple and it's going to be Mr. Softy. AMD, man, big time. I know Neil's still in that. This was a big time trade for me, like infinitely my number one stock today. We really pounded the long here early when we broke through. So, you know, my big stocks, although we called 4% and people looked at me like I was crazy, and they probably still do, and you'd be right. But it's just like this was my big trade. It sucks we don't have it on, but I really made a lot of money on that. So like for me, that was well worth it. Draftkings, I just wish there was something else I could look at. What about AAL? Still barcoding? Like what's moving besides some of these like low float stocks?
Well, what's crazy?
McDonald's is back right now.
The ES just broke the high, and I'm like, I was waiting for the market to pull back to short Affirm. Like everything is breaking the tops, and of course, Affirm has already pulled back. So I should have just jumped into it. The counter trend is working, and Lucid's starting to come in the money. I can tell you, SOPA got to 280, and then that was as far as it went. Now it just broke up again. That might be another wick off top, but we've played this level once. I'm not going to go back to that well. At this point, you start going back to, wow, I have to really zoom this chart in for it to make any sense on the daily chart. That's ridiculous. I think you got to go to almost like 4 until you have a really defined level. So maybe it halts, maybe it doesn't. About 25 minutes to go. You scalp profit out in these trades because if it doesn't make the full retracement in, I don't want it to be binary. Like, oh, my target's VWAP. Okay, well, either hits VWAP or I lose. Nah, you don't want that because if you get the level right for a turnaround, you want to make sure you've gotten something out so in the event this happens, you can still be up on the name. Like that's, to me, the name of it. It's not trying to be perfect on the trade. It's just trying to be profitable on the overall trade. Even Tesla just pulled back off the high. It can't even get past 860. So it's trying to break out in this market, but there's so many names not cooperating. If Lucid doesn't fall, like it does, if it's not going to go up, it could at least fall past VWAP here. This is it's getting ridiculous. Like I'd expect this to be moving, especially if we pull back off of these highs. And you know the relative weakness it has should be leading to something. I'm just not seeing it happen. I'm real close to getting a trail out on AMD. That last little push up, you know, the trail's just below 111, so you might see that one come out there. I don't know if we're going to get that. I thought for sure we're going to get that 112, and we got really, I should have just pulled my order back.
Okay, here goes
Draftkings. It got to 111.70. This market is starting to pull back, and I'm going to get trailed out. I could have had 30 cents away from 112 and probably should have just pulled the trigger.
All right, you know, I hope this doesn't cost me because the People's Traders putting on the People's Short. Everyone's screaming about Bumble to go short. I don't know. We put on it's small. We'll lose, and it'll suck to lose. But we'll see if Bumble here we are below. It's up 41%. I mean, it's barcoding here and went up. So that's So I know we're short right now. That's too much zoom. Okay, one more. There it is. So we barcoded here and went up. Right? It's doing the exact same thing at the exact same level. So, I still do think that the long could print, which is why we're going to use 80 as our out right here. The 50 period's at 70. Let's give this a little bit of room. But again, I just punched the short. Like this was not a mechanical trade. I didn't look at anything. It was just it's below VWAP, it's below the 50 period, and it's up 41%. So we're going to do that right now. As here we go to the downside. Finally, Draftkings. Yes, sir. Where's my bid? 83. You got to be kidding me. It stopped at 83, and I never got filled. So, oh man, this is just how it goes. But hopefully it'll come back in right now. Draftkings, we talked about holding this one. I said this on Prad's show, and I said this at the beginning of our show, that this was the name I wanted to be short. It just wasn't moving. So unfortunately, we did hold a third of it, so that's good. And now you're making these lows. So let's see if we can get filled at 83. I might just punch this 85, but here comes 83 right now. What else to look at? Roblox. You know what? I'm going to cancel this Roblox. I was going to punch this bid long, but now I'm canceling it. I mean, there's nothing happening. I might just get out of this trade. If the market does fade in and we're lucky enough to get a bid down here, fine. But we'll get out of Roblox. 44.50, something like that if we're wrong on this name, whatever. That's that. Right now, my main concern is going to be right here. We still didn't. There we go. We still didn't get that, but there it is. We got it. So we'll go. Awesome for a little short here on DKNG. Now Bumble, 10 cents in the money. Let's see how far this was. Oh, it's right at this level. We're going to take out 20% of this right now.
Yeah, so T's trade, I'll get you. It looked like on AMD it was going to be in trouble, that trend line, but it didn't. Like, it actually ended up holding up. So I am still in the long. It's just the way the market had pulled back in some of the names I was watching, I sort of felt it was inevitable. I'm like, oh yeah, the momentum's there. It's going to push through and I'll get trailed up. But it never happened, so I'm still in it. At this point, even though a firm has pulled back already, look, I just feel like it's tipped its hand a bit here, pulling back when the market was still going higher. So I want to get into this one. You know, it's a nice consolidation, and maybe it won't be as aggressive as we had that as I would have if it was 37. Your tighter stop there. I'm going to sit on the. Maybe I'll just close the spread a little bit if we can get the. No way. Like I closed the spread. There you go. I had to close it a second time. But now I'm going to be in on this consolidation in a firm. And I think I have to at least give an opportunity to get back to 37, maybe catch a bit of a roll trade. But I'm finally into a firm. If Lucid, which is going down, doesn't want to flush, let's get something which has at least been moving since I came back on, Brendan.
Shit.
A little mining stock, guys. We've seen the past couple of days these low float mining stocks going crazy. Here's today's candidate. Denison, DNN, up 5.5%. Huge volume, monster volume coming into this one right now.
Actually heard of them.
All right, there we go. We'll go boom. Thank you so much for the advice there on the Bumble trade. We just got out another one. So short at 23.50, out first leg at 40, out next leg at 30. So that's back-to-back jacks right there. The only jacks you'll see this year because baseball, Neil, I don't know.
Actually, they're pretty much close to a deal right now, apparently.
Apparently,
okay. So I've been told they're actually really close.
Yeah,
well, it looks like they're
we'll hit
targeting
the home run
April.
anyways. I think Vlad wins MVP this year if they play. So there it is.
I don't know, man.
Right there. Okay, so DraftKings. Someone said now that I shorted it, it's going to go up. I shorted this name about 2 hours ago and still short. The last short I got on was exactly an hour ago here. Or sorry, that's 1:30. 2 hours ago here was that short. So yeah, this is not finally I'm short. I've been short for a while off of these highs. I don't consider these the highs, although they are the highs. It's just too choppy there off the open. A lot of this is pre-market nonsense back and forth. And then we got choppy down here around 1850. So right now, the only thing we're worried about is Roblox. It's up here, 44.50. If we break that, that's good. Well, we're out, not good, but we'll get out of this one. Actually, let's just bump this a little bit higher, 44.60 on Roblox. It doesn't really matter. Draftkings is really where my attention is, and Bumble. So 2 shorts here. These are the positions that we just put on for you. Bumble broke that level there at 23s here, 33s, which was that bottom. So now I'm thinking, maybe we retest into here. 23 flat, that's where my bid is. I'm bidding 23.04. Maybe we get a flush down into this area. And then after that, I mean, the rest is history. It will either right itself or it won't. We're going to get out of this one right where we're in. So there's 50. We're going to get out if we break above this 50 period, 63. So again, 20-cent win. The most we're going to lose here on the last 60% is this 50 period. So 23.65, if we break above that, that's the new target out for Bumble. I just got to fix it.
For those, I saw some people talk about RevB. I remember this stock from a couple of weeks ago because I was trading around $2 level. Had a double top, 270. You can see here on the 15-minute chart. It just went parabolic into 2. Just note that when it was here in the past, it broke 2, got up to like 210 and then capitulation. It was not an easy thing to short because it always had a big range. Currently, someone just sold a bunch of shares at 98 and it evens, and they were getting fills at those prices. So it's already trying to run some people over. AMD, it looks like now we're taking out the high. Well, sorry. The NASDAQ is taking out the high again, not AMD. So once again, it comes close to that target. And it would be ridiculous. The NASDAQ and the ES are both breaking the high. You're getting close to that 43 mark, and AMD is not breaking the high of the day at this point. So I usually go with the trend and say stick with it. But we're 15 minutes from when I want to get flat anyways. So I'm going to exit the trade here because you're putting in these tight little lower highs while the market is breaking out. That's not what I want to see. I want to see AMD breaking out with the market. And given that I'm only trying to get an extra 30 to 40 cents out of it, that's ridiculous. We're just going to get out of the trade. We'll lock it and load it. We'll be out of this one. We'll hit this key because we're shooting some shots there. I'll never play for the Raptors, obviously. Not that great a ball player, but you can always hit some of your shots in the game that we do play, which is in those overall markets. Just going to come quite right back over to that, what was it called again? It was SOPA. That's the one I wanted to go to. It pulls right back to $3. Once it took out 3, I was kind of looking for $3.50, so there was no other trade for me, but you're going to see it give another capitulation. And that's just what happens in these names, right? Like you get ramp up, you get those wick off tops, and when it puts one of those in, a lot of times you can short that consolidation. I didn't like it. I thought it was going to press a little bit higher before it made the move, but you can see, you short that consolidation, then boom, it's right back into 290. Basically the same move it made at $3. The difference with the $3 level is, of course, you had some cover on the higher time frame that was a pretty good pivot price. And with the other one, I want that second or third level of confirmation. It just wasn't there at 330.
So out of Roblox there, it broke through 50. I'm not going to wait for 60. I mean, the market, there's that 4%. I really can't believe how, oops, the thing's not working again. I guess they're working on it. Yeah, they got it. Okay, so not working again. You can't see our positions. There they are. They're up right now. But we knew the market would skyrocket right there. And there it is, man. There's that 4%. I don't think I'll ever be able to make a call like that again. But we'll see if that happens, and hopefully I do. Yeah, good trade on AMD, obviously, as that's going. Occidental is really barcoding right now, which is why we haven't looked at this all afternoon. I was talking about a break of the 50 period. That would have worked right there. 57.20, it did go down to 56, let's call it 56.80 there, and then kind of stopped. But right now, not much happening here for Oxy. So I just want to give everyone's attention back to that. This was a $4 winner, but we're negative on Oxy. So you can ask me at any time if I'm positive or negative on any names right now. Positive overall on the day, obviously, but right now we're going to watch Draftkings, a very positive name, and Bumble, a very positive name for us here today. And they're both on the short side. We only have one red. Well, we were red on Oxy, we're red on Roblox there, and we're red on Tesla off this one quick trade, which I'm kind of glad, man. We were going short there on Tesla, and it's just kind of rode this 50 period all the way back up right there. So that's a little area of concern for me there with nothing. Number 800, thank you, Stephen Howard, on that one. And yeah, if you don't want the socks, I would say, why not? SMH is not oh no, that's a NASDAQ name. I should have known that. Most ETFs going to be on the Amex, but SMH there, this is a good one for anybody. I still think if you don't like the triple, the SOX L there that I was giving you, this is up another 5% as well today. And I mean, look at some of these levels. I've been putting money to work all the time when we get down here. So the last time I bought was 254, which was in here. One of these, I think it was this day. No buying here today and no buying yesterday. But yeah, these levels have been really good. We bought it into this one, into here again, and let's see. They're still out of the money. It's not like, well, they're in the money, but whatever. $4 on 250 is nothing. So we'll wait to see there. Okay, Bumble, here we go. Yeah, buddy, this is a good one, man. We'll flush Bumble down the toilet here, maybe, and it's by far not flushing down the toilet. You're up 39% right now on Bumble, but thank you so much for the calls there. That went to 09. We're at 04. We talked about that, so we did miss that bid, but Bumble is moving down. Let's just change that. Let's put it at a dime. We got out on every dime there. We got out at 40s, then we got out at 30s, we didn't take 20s, and it looks like we should have just took 10s. So let's put a bid down there at 10. We'll cancel our O bid and see if it falls down after. We could get the imbalances. Let me know. I don't know if we have it on there. Oh, there it is. Brad just put it in. 100 million to sell. So yesterday it was 1.2 billion to buy or sell, one of the ways, but 100 million obviously is nothing. DraftKings 25 cents, Bumble 25 cents.
And this was a question like, should I be concerned? I think it was emerging concern about Disney being only up 1.7%. When the market is this strong and something that's been beaten up can't seem to get higher, yeah, there's a little bit of cause for concern. I'd say more so when you're looking at what's happening at this 135.50 price. I'm glad you brought this one up. Thank you very much for that, because there's three reasons to like that. Current high, yesterday's top, and then if you go back 3 days ago, you can also see that in the afternoon, actually on out, like would have been right after or right before we came on, it made the same high before flushing. And you can see that big red candle when it made that same top. So 135.60 to be a little bit more precise, you're looking at. If it can hold the low, okay, fine. If we get another update rally, then maybe it's going to set up for that break. But, oh man, if you're trading in this range and the market wants to pull back tomorrow, that is a short off of this level. That is those are big prices. When the market is this strong and something cannot get through that, it's running away from it and trending down after gapping up off of yesterday's high. So Disney, 136.50, that'll be on my radar 100%. It looks like it was the right call to get out of AMD. Affirm made a run at the high as the market The ES got to 42.97 on the E-mini futures, the S&P mini futures, and a firm made a run at the high of the day, couldn't break, now starting to come back in here. So as long as we don't take out the tops, I think the last two shorts should be good. But of course, running against the clock. If you're tuning in the first time or need to be reminded, we're day trading, so we have to be flat, no positions at the end of the day, which puts the clock on finding some of these profits. Like the move has to happen, or we just got to get out anyways. Brendo.
The latest contender here for small cap of the hour, William Industrial Services. Just popping up here, guys, 24%. Monster volume on this one now. The rotation continues.
Uh-oh.
People are rotating into Williams.
Here goes the futures. I missed it. What was the...
Williams?
Oh, Williams Sonoma?
No. A Williams we've never heard of.
Oh, Williams we never heard of. Okay. All right. So Bumble, just on Neil's point about having to get out, I took a 20 bid there. So we'll see. Now it's coming back in. I'm going to keep my bid down here in the O's, and we'll just see where that fills. I'm not going to tell you what the price is, 23.05, but that's where we're bidding down here. So let's see if it does come in. That's going to be the low of all of this move. So if it comes back in, the low was 09 there. Well, let's call it 10. Looks like it went to 09 and then stopped. So 10 was the low. We'll see. But I just want to take another piece out there. Thank you for that call out, guys. That's a 30-cent win there. DraftKings continuing to go lower. Here it is in the 70s, man. Like, yes, finally, like, you know, we really wanted this name to go, and here it is. So we're definitely getting paid off on DraftKings shorts now. So that's been a good one. We've been talking about it all show. Maybe we should stop. Oh, SoFi is a name that I haven't talked about yet on the show. So we did get, again, look at all these wins here. Long at 78, right? First out 85. So that's 7 cents. 90s, 95s, O's up here, $10, right? And then on the way back down, out, reload, out, reload. I mean, look at these prices. 79, this is reload at 70, 79, 78, 85, 81s, and so. And then we got, this is 20, 40, 60, 80. Then we got our last 20% out there for a 5-cent hit. Now SoFi is kind of moving around. This is the name that I think you guys can, you know, and again, I made SoFi the call for 2022. Yeah, SoFi and Disney. So back to your point about amusing. I think Disney might be in trouble because I'm very nervous about China right now. I feel like what Russia's doing, China could do something as well. Now, I don't want to, you know, I'm not really hearing anything. I just worry about Taiwan and things like that. But okay, which would like if China does anything, Disney goes to $100. So
that would be ugly.
So watch out for that.
Well, it might not happen. Well,
Disney will go to 100.
No, I'm talking about China doing.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to predict that like another global catastrophe here, but if China does something, yikes. Okay, so just watch out here. And again, SoFi, we talked about this at the 14-15 area when it was January. I mean, that's right where we made these calls. It's down badly from that area. They get the bank charter, it bumps up to 13, but now it can't get out of its own way. Inflation is going to be a problem, but based on that, I don't think you see $9 again on SoFi flat. Tomorrow's going to be another day. If it's going to happen, it's going to be tomorrow. So watch out for CPI. I'm going to be watching SoFi. I believe that this $9 is an area that you could probably, and I will be putting some money to work, more money to work down here on SoFi at this $9, like $9.29. And then I'm not going to be an idiot about it. Like I'm not going to let this thing go to $1. If it breaks that $8.50, we're gone. So I want to put on a big position on SoFi. If the day's tomorrow, I got to have some dry powder. We sold our new core. Well, we sold a third out of it. We have been raising capital at these levels. You guys know that. We sold our ABV at 148, sorry, ABBV here. Let's have a quick look at what that is before we go back over to Brendan. So that, yeah, so 149, so that's still high. This has been a great name here, but we did raise capital. We sold our JP Morgan as well, as you know, but bought some Goldman Sachs. We got to check the banks. What's up, Brendo?
So some of these are going on this report, guys. Some uranium stocks are popping up here. The U.S. weighing sanctions possibly on Russia's Rosatom, which is a uranium company. So UEC, there's a couple other ones that I just mentioned there, also rallying, it would appear, on that report.
What's the other one? It's the one it's 4Us.
There was this WWR stock. So I don't know if you could find out what these guys are in, Brendan, but WWR, oh, damn it. I don't know the name. It's Westwater Resources. Oh, shoot, it must be on the Amex. Oh, man, I'm really screwing this one up. They're up 10% as well and starting to go. And it's not, I hear about this name, and it's just one of those names that's kind of barcoding down here on the, oh, man, yeah, it's not going to load. But anyways, on the daily chart, it's not really doing anything down at this $2 level. I believe they might be in, did you say, oh, it was nickel. Nickel is a short squeeze. That's epic. That's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. Some Chinese bank getting blown out of that one. I believe they're granite or graphite or something, but graphite? Yeah, okay, so another called graphite. So if you ever hear something about that, you'll see.
Speaking of blow-ups,
you'll hear about WWR.
So like a uranium, so one of those other ones, UUU,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4Us. The problem is uranium 1 used to be UUU in Canada before they got bought out.
Right.
And now Energy Fuels is 4Us, and it just always confuses me because I always think it's supposed to be 3. But that's making a run. So good job you guys pointing that out. But speaking of people getting or firms getting blown out, think about the materials risk or the commodity risk that some of the banks might have on their clients. Like, who knows the exposure when these things are squeezed into the upside? Like if you're a JP or a Morgan Stanley, you don't know you don't know what clients they have that are getting blown up on these squeezes. No. And I think that's another problem for some of these banks that are on the trading, not the lending side. It's just when you see these moves in commodities and sometimes in currencies too, you don't find out till after that somebody was getting screwed.
Yeah, like that Archegos.
Yeah, like you didn't know who was holding those bags until, well, yeah, they didn't come public until some people be able to get out. I'm not going to get into that one over again, but yeah, you never really know. I think that could be a downward push for maybe Morgan Stanley or JP. Of course, U.S. Steel now wants to break down. Is that what you guys are saying there, Prakash? But yeah, of course. There it is. I made the top wick. I knew eventually it was going to get stopped out when I gave it a few pennies above that 31.50. It eventually holds, but it's going to happen to you sometimes. That's the reality. Like it's a lot of times these moves, you're going to make the top wick and it's going to end up working out because direction's only part of it. You still have to put the execution on. You got to hit the key. You got to decide where you're wrong. And then when you get out, it can end up looking horrible like it will in this case. But it is what it is. Like it's going to come down now, but there's not much I can do about it. The future is holding up pretty nicely. You'd think rejecting 4,300 on the ES, maybe we'd pull back a little harder after a run like this. But maybe we'll see what happens with the imbalance in 3 minutes. Not looking like they'll be huge, which is a bit of a surprise.
No, it's not looking like much here. Might be a sell side. I mean, tomorrow's just such a big day. We'll wait for that CPI to come through. Pentagon not transferring aircraft to Ukraine. That's probably not a good thing as well. Assessed to be high risk. So I don't know.
That was a not.
That's 5 minutes ago.
God. No, I know this morning there was a whole thing about
Poland though.
Poland, but that was never happening in my opinion.
I don't know. There's new headlines coming all the time about this war. Okay, Draftkings right now, isn't it officially a war? What constitutes a war? I wonder. Or is it still like an invasion? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is actually. Okay, so right now, Draftkings, look, instead of waiting for 75, I just took 80. So now we're 30 cents in the money on this name. We're going to see where it goes. Bumble is going to be a positive name. So I do thank you guys out there for giving it to me. But I do thank myself because, it was looking hairy there in the 23. And that's what we took that 20. We've got 22s there out. And now we're going to use this VWAP as our out. So a break back above here. And I just put the order in right now. It's actually above. You see, I'm kind of going to use that strategy there. You see that little wick top there. So if you would have shorted right into there, you could be, this is the call for the short here, 23.50, because again, you want to try to go short where that stopped. So it goes to the upside, it closes right there, and now the short would come in. So you should be short, or you could be short here, 50. That's right where it's at, so it's not a big deal. It's not really moving considering the day that this has had. I thought we'd have a little bit of a different close here for Bumble. Still bidding 23 flat. So hey, if it comes back down, it comes back down. If not, we'll get out at 23.60. Okay, the thing is that there's only 2 minutes until imbalances, and at any point, these imbalances could wipe out all of these levels. So we'll have to wait to see. It's right now from Prad, 370 million sell side. We get this from Financial Juice. You guys can look it up. We're not affiliated with them, so I'm not going to show them on our chat, but I can mention it's Financial Juice on Twitter there. That's the name to look for. And they do give an early mock imbalance, and the imbalances are just these guys. And everybody that's watching knows what this is all about because we've talked about it over and over again. We'll wait to see, and right now there's nothing happening. We'll put on a 1-minute chart. These are going to update. You see right now the last update's 9:30, obviously. So we'll put this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better there. So we're going to get another update right now at 3:50, and it's 3:48:40. So a minute, 20 seconds. These will all get updated, and we'll see some buys or sells come through both on the NASDAQ and the NYSE, and that should naturally affect what this market does in the last 10 minutes. So
I had 2 frustrating stocks today. One of them, it was frustrating, then I immediately got out of it and to go back to CVX. The second one, I got out of it, stopped trading, and then decided I had to short it in the afternoon show, and of course I'll take the hit on Affirm. So Affirm, CVX, it could have been either Chevron, it could have been either one. This market's starting to come down, and of course that's when Affirm tries to take out the top. It looks like, yeah, we are pulling back a little bit here in front of those imbalances. I just have Lucid on from this morning. That DRCT, if you're watching, of course it reversed again off 350 all the way back down to 260, because why wouldn't it? But this is what we mean about these names. Like, look at the whipsaw action on a 15-minute here. Like, it's just insane. Like, you have like a dollar move in about 40 minutes here. Don't get caught holding those bags.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it's hard to get out on the way down.
Oh, no. I'm saying oh no under my breath because I don't want Bumble to break here before this imbalance hits. But at the same time, I want to have the order out, because if the imbalance does hit, then I want it just to get out, because this thing could jump. Crap. Stop talking about it, and it just went right up there. So we just got out at 60. It doesn't matter. Bumble's a positive name for us, so we put that money in our pocket and move on, but we'll wait. It just got ran up to that stop, but that doesn't matter. Okay, there it is. Wow, those came fast. SWN sells, so they're starting to, or buys, sorry, my bad. There's the buys on all these names. So Intel's there every day for almost exactly 1.8 million shares.
Every day.
But today it's a buy,
but
yesterday
in either
it's a sell.
direction.
Someone said, like, what does China have to do with Canada or the US or something like that? Like, what about dollar stores? There's Dollar Tree right there. That's a nice little buy. And there's Apple. So our friend Apple here with a buy, and you could see it's actually starting to go down. So sometimes these imbalances don't mean a hell of a lot. So here's Apple going to the downside right now with a buy. So there's Open Door. There's Open Door. This is a name that we don't watch too much. Now my charts are screwed up, but that was Open Door there. I'll get the imbalances back in a second.
Yeah, 1 million to sell, I think Open Door was. Oh, I just tried to call it up. Yeah, that didn't, I mean, it kind of moved, but not really. Not a heck of a lot of movement there. So up 11%. Look, I mean, a lot of those names, these tech names, up 5 to 10, maybe 12%. Lucid almost stopped me out. I always move my stop order in front of the imbalances, so I brought it down to 25.30. It went to 25.30 and is now coming back in. But like we did earlier, I'm just going to take this one out. I didn't see it on the imbalance locator. We crossed the spread here.
Come over here just quickly,
and
Neil.
take profit, because you got to move flat here.
Oh.
What happened?
I was going to show it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. But there's a monster size at 75 there, and it just got eaten up on DraftKings. That's why I wanted to show you, because I was going to say I'm getting some out at. There was like 200,000 shares or something on the bid at 75. Maybe I can show you. Maybe it got hit in one trade here. Let me see if I can find it. 75, 75, 75, 75. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is right here. Look at this. Oh man, 100,000 shares clean. Did you guys see that? Hopefully I can show it to you one more time. There it is right here. How do I print screen? There it is. Oh, you might have missed it, but anyways, someone took 100,000 share print off the bid on DraftKings there. 100,000 share print on DraftKings. I see this gel is showing
Sometimes
my hair shiny here. Yeah, so someone put a bid on there. What's up, Kathy? How are you doing? I believe that was probably her bid. Somebody was sitting there with 100,000 shares on the bid of DraftKings, and it was more than that. That was one order got taken out.
Put it in the auction.
Auntie?
Put it in the auction.
Auntie?
Get the
Just say
bill.
Brad? Auntie? There, but Aunt
Now we're
Kathy
pulling back
coming through. There he is. Brad's like literally 5 feet away from us, so I can hear everything this guy's saying. That's funny. But there it is, DraftKings. Yes, sir. Spin the money, because there it is. The short of the day here for me. Well, we had a bunch of different trades, but this DraftKings trade, man, we were pounding the table on Uncle Prad's show there today, and there it is to the move to the downside. We pounded this on his show, then we get it again. We did get out of a little bit, reloaded it as soon as we saw that breakout. We didn't agree. There's the downward move here into the futures and into DraftKings. So let's take another bid out here. A 40-cent winner. I'm pretty happy with that move for DKNG.
Yeah, there's a lot that was holding up that we're starting to actually get some real rollover now in the market. But let's keep things in perspective, man.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You can be down from like that 4,300 level on the ES. We're at 4,275. This is what it looks like on a higher time frame. Sometimes I have a 60-minute up when I want to assess what the market is doing trend-wise, and this is what it looks like on the NASDAQ. Like, okay, you got a wick top, but you're still exactly where we were holding almost all afternoon, 3.5%. Okay, we didn't break back out there, but I think that's just a little profit taking, right? Like you get a day this strong in a market like this, people are going to want to take some profit. GM, I was sort of noting earlier in the day, and I don't know why I didn't come back to this idea because we ended the show, and I was like, GM's up 6 and Ford's up 3.5. There's probably a fade in General Motors, and I never came back to that idea, only to see it go to 43. Still holding $42 and up 5%, but both those names pretty strong here today. Just usually, you'll see on a momentum day that Ford would do a bit more than GM. And sometimes when you see that as the case, it can be a fade on that stronger name. If you guys are watching Tesla, just because that 860 level, look at 860. I'll be watching 860 tomorrow on Tesla because it just couldn't go. The market was breaking highs each of these times, and we couldn't get Tesla past that 860 level. It's starting to pull back here, but a good one on Tesla. And speaking of Tesla, no, we're going to Brendan, I think it is.
Yeah, we'll get some earnings for you here, guys. A few minutes ago, before we get out of here for the evening, we're obviously to the end of all of the big names. Nothing really left in the S&P 500. But here is what is to come after market tonight.
Yeah, the name that I screwed up, didn't screw it up, but we were talking about a name that I liked, and I was like, I don't really care for too many of those, but I do like CrowdStrike. I think that what's been happening with cybersecurity and things like that, CrowdStrike obviously up that 8% today and just an absolute monster going, and that's the name there. Fuel cell, with the talk of EV and Joe Biden and things like that. Yeah, it should move. So
was JD there before?
Yeah, JD was there because I remember I was going to say that there was a Chinese name. Okay. That's the e-commerce name there in China.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Marquette is interesting, but especially after the Google deal, we talked about this, after the Google deal. What?
Dwayne Wade, Marquette? Did you say Marquette?
No, I said Marquetta.
Oh, Marquetta.
But yeah, that's right.
I only heard
Hey,
Porchetta.
man, it's March, baby. You know what that means. We're just talking about Draftkings.
Okay, so that's the thing. I see some people talking about it, and I just hear Uncle Brad there talking about March Madness. And the thing is like, remember that Super Bowl, like buy DraftKings into Super Bowl? That didn't necessarily work too good, but March Madness could be a different story because March Madness is just a mad amount of gambling.
Everybody gambles on.
And I mean, everybody gambles on Super Bowl too, but it's a one-day event.
It's not.
The thing about
it's
a whole. And I've been to a couple March Madness, and I sat like a couple seats away from Jim Nantz, and it was crazy. I can't believe he's still going, that guy. Jim Nantz, legend. It's also the players this week, Brendan? I believe.
It's always the same time because Jim Nantz does the players, and then he goes to March Madness.
And then he goes and does like the final gamer.
Isn't that amazing
the
though?
Elite
like,
Eight.
We were in university I think that most of those trips. I missed that one. Then the year after we went again. But you guys, because the year I missed is when you guys ran into Jim Nantz, and it's like he's still doing it. He goes Masters.
It's amazing.
He's living the life, man.
I love Jim Nantz.
He's a legend, absolute legend.
But they're all legends, man. Marv Levy, I believe. That's it. Tons of stuff. I keep thinking Steve Levy, but okay. All right, so we got to get ready to close this up. But CrowdStrike was the name. So that was what I want to talk about. CrowdStrike, I believe we're going to see. It's going to be all about the guidance. But this name, and again, too bad my chart doesn't go back here, but it's traveled a lot, man. CrowdStrike, and I don't know what's wrong with the chart, but you are at these bottoms. So I watch out for that. It's kind of like that Bumble move where we were at the bottom and then you exploded up 40%. I don't know if it has 40% in it, CrowdStrike, but honestly, man, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow we got into this like 200 area tomorrow. All they sort of have to do is talk about cyber threats and this and that, and you could get a nice bump to the upside. Maybe they've signed some new corporate clients and whatnot, but I'm out of it. I don't own any shares here, so this is definitely not talking up my book, but CrowdStrike, I do like it. I think Palo Alto is going to be the best name in this space, but that just goes to show. Look at the 20-minute on this name, definitely here and not here, right? So they already reported a stellar number. So PanW already reported a big move up, right? So if you're going to say CrowdStrike is similar to Palo Alto, which they're not, they're smaller, but if that is any sort of a move, then you could see CrowdStrike get back to that 2 bill level. You heard it here first. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, and especially whenever there's deals and consolidations in that space, and when Google makes a big purchase, you start thinking about, okay, well, could Microsoft make a move? Could Amazon make a move? And then you start speculating on the names and types of companies that they can get into.
You're talking about Mandiant.
And Mandiant, but it wouldn't be Palo Alto because they're too big. It would have to be a smaller size firm. Like they're not. It's just Palo Alto's the best.
I don't even know.
But their cap's probably way too big. JD, just interesting that pulled off. pretty heavily going into the close. I don't know the timing of when their earnings might be. Sometimes before market and not after, but that would be one worth watching for one of those crazy wicks at the close. Only 90 seconds to go till we get that close, and some acceleration. I'll just show this chart, it'll be easier instead of flipping back and forth. Some acceleration on the ES, but really still well within the afternoon range. Like, we're actually getting to that support level now, just about 30 points. So we are pulling back. That's the context of the move. It's big, but really overall, it's still going to be a positive day. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, thanks for getting the likes over 1,000 apparently now. So I want to give a big thank you to, who was that? Someone kept pumping it up there. Oh man, who was it? Who was it?
It was Steve.
Was it Steve somebody? They're like, oh, I got it back to
Steve
1,000.
Howard.
I saw Steve Howard. What's up, Steve Howard? Shout out to you. Thank you, my friend, for all that help there. But there it is. Draftkings, we are now out. So that's what I was looking at before. Like, that's only 40,000 shares. So there was 100,000, and you could see, like, see how it's like having a hard time getting through this. Well, I mean, it took that one trade the time before. So we're out. We are now flat. It's going to be a good day here today. Both of us obviously going to be positive. And yeah, really happy with only 30 seconds to go. I don't know if it's Tony on the bell. I don't know who's on the bell there.
Miss V.
Oh, it's Miss V. Okay, that's good. That'll keep the people happy. Miss V, get ready. It's only 15 seconds to go here. She's spinning that thing on her finger. Let's got to be careful. I think it doesn't fly. Yeah, watch out, Miss V.
Don't let go.
On that way. Don't let go on that one.
Now she goes faster, of course.
I know. She's like, you're showing up. I just feel like it's going to be.
I saw that. It almost went.
Bang.
3, 2, and 1.
You remember when Brad had a situation on his face? I just don't want that mallet there, smoker. But
yeah,
that
that wouldn't be good.
Pretty talented there. So, okay, it looks like I should have faded the 4%, Brendan, but it seems like we did pretty good here today. I wasn't watching the S&P, so let's get an update on where that was.
Great day, obviously, right across the board. Did we actually get there? I don't think we got to 4, did we? It was very close, though. Close enough, we'll say. 2.5 for the S&P, the Dow 2.3, 3.5 for the NASDAQ. Great day, right across the board. 1.2 here in Toronto for the TSX. Ouch, if you were long crude today at any point. But hey, it's been nuts all week long, so it's about time, I think, for a little bit of a pullback on the energy markets, guys.
Yeah, it had to happen. Like, nothing, even if it's going to continue higher, like, nothing goes up like that without sharp pullbacks, right? It's the same thing as the market doesn't fall heavily without big bouncing days. Like, this kind of day had to happen. It was frustrating being short any of the equity names this morning, thinking it was going to go down, and just, you know what, sometimes you can just jump over and trade an ETF or something.
It's funny, like, I made all my money back, not all of it back, but I made a lot of it back on the long, on Oxy, instead of the short. So, strange one. Thank you to my man, Brad, who kept it real during the afternoon show. So that was a big one. Thanks, Brad, for that again. Thank you to Ms. V, obviously the hardest worker here, all day, every day on camera. Thank you, Ms. V. Hopefully Maggie at some point is done interviewing, and you know, she can enjoy herself one more time, because that's a busy job, and it's one that I've had before, and I don't, you know, like, forget it, man. I just like, let's get the people in here and let's go. But Maggie's doing her great job. We're looking for more staff, right? And it is what it is. We're growing, and we're growing thanks to you guys. So thanks to the big community that we've been able to grow. A big thank to Liz as well, our new social media. You're going to see a lot more hype coming on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. So if you're just following right now, make sure you don't follow the wrong people. Neil, myself, or Brendan will not contact you for, oh, how's your trading going? We have this great crypto program. I trade differently on my own than I do on the show.
You contacted me the other day, Sean.
I did?
I had some fun with him, obviously. I'm like, you know, I've sat next to this guy for 20 years, right? Like,
yeah.
Like,
and I
really?
would just hit you up on Twitter with
really?
With like a Sean with like 3 N's or something.
Send me all your Bitcoin. Like, are you serious? How do you even try that? Like, how? Think about it for a second, people. Anyways,
we could go on for a while, but anyways, there's going to be some nice social media coming your way, so a big thank you to everybody. And obviously a thanks to Randy, Mark, I see, Vitaly this morning, obviously Lucas sitting there as well. They're all, they don't even have a camera over there anymore, I don't think. So that's that. A big thank you to Tony and Greg as well for holding down the ship here on the Toronto floor of Day Trade. Tony, there you are. You're on camera. Give a wave there, Tony. There he is. What's up, Tony? No matter the weather, this dude is in short sleeves. He's not playing. Like, every day is a vacation for Tony, and that's why we love him. So, yes, be back tomorrow. It should be good earnings. You know, we'll hope to see that there's something coming through with Ukraine and Russia. Oil is going to be popping. And
CPI,
then the
baby.
big one tomorrow, man, CPI is coming through. So sticky note will be there, but we'll see what happens at 8:30. So for now, watch the trade of the day. It's Oxy. You can see that. And we will see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.